Levine Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco says he'll be ready to go for the season opener against the Lions. Pacheco is coming back from shoulder and hand injuries after leading the team in rushing as a rookie. That opener for the Super Bowl champs is 7 weeks from tonight. At SEC Media Days today in Nashville, Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin with some sharp words about the state of college football.
Just like when everybody was like, oh, we got this NIL, it's great. And then, in this portal, it's great. Oh, whoa. And I'm not saying I was the only one saying it. I'm like, whoa, this is a disaster coming because you just legalized cheating. And you just told donors they can pay the players.
Kiffin says the college landscape is now professional sports without a salary cap or a luxury tax. Late in the first round of the Open Championship at Royal Liverpool, a three-way tie for the lead at 5 under. England's Tommy Fleetwood, Argentina's Emiliano Grillo, and Georgia Tech's Christo Lamprecht from South Africa.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
What's happening on a Thursday? Feels like this week's going by a bit slow as we anticipate the arrival of football season next week. The Jags players, some of them will actually report tomorrow. So anticipation just about over at Jags headquarters. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz on this Thursday. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Once again, split up all over the Southeast we are. Those two guys in studio. I'm up in the Atlanta area where traffic is just so fun up here in the ATL. But the hot weather, they call it Hot Atlanta. Certainly not as bad this week as it could be. So we appreciate that, considering Jacksonville had its hottest day of the year yesterday, I believe, at 98 degrees, guys. Aaron would not know this. He took the old, parachute tunnel from the building to the car, from the car to the house. He never even stepped foot outside.
I mean, you're joking, yesterday. But it was pretty much that. I stepped outside when I got out of the house in the morning, and I stepped outside when I got to the parking lot, and I stepped outside when I left work, and I stepped outside when I arrived home. And that was the entirety of outside for me yesterday.
It do be pretty miserable around here right now. Holy.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot all over the place. Here's what I always chalk it up to. It's like, hey, it's July in the South, right? I mean, it's going to be hot. Hot is hot to me. But
this is a different kind of hot this year.
Feels a little bit hot right now because it actually took a long time. I said that to Borish and Beatonball recently. I was like, all the way up until maybe early June or maybe it was late May, I don't know. It didn't feel like it had gotten that hot yet. And of course, they turned it on a little bit. I saw Mike Borish with a little graphic yesterday. This surprised me, guys. The hottest temperature in the last 10 years in Jacksonville was 101 degrees.
That's without, the real feel. That's the
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's the real temperature. But obviously, maybe the humidity keeps the actual it must, right? Keep the actual temperature down.
I imagine because it's
I'm
wet.
not a meteorologist, but I play one on TV and once did in Alexandria, Louisiana. And I know we're not going to get 115 like the desert, right? But I was a little surprised. I mean, you're up in Rhode Island, and when I was in Ohio, in fact, our wedding day is still the hottest day in the history of Columbus, Ohio. It was 103 degrees on our wedding day.
And that was just in the honeymoon suite.
A lot hotter there, baby.
Case, you okay? Case?
I'm good.
You all right?
I'm just surprised Brent leaned in is all.
He's proud of himself, man.
I was going to say something else. Now I'm going to stop
I'm
myself.
glad you stopped yourself, though. You saved all of our jobs. Thank you.
If you hesitate, don't go.
If you hesitate, don't go. That's right. Hey, speaking of, no hesitation by Jordan Addison. Welcome to the NFL,
Oh,
Mr.
my
140 miles per hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Listen, I'm all for speeding, folks. But
I'm Brent Martineau, and I approve this message.
yeah, but come on. Like, where am I going to fall here, right? Like, you can't – first of all, you're a rookie. You shouldn't be doing anything. You're like tiptoeing, right? You're on eggshells. You're a rookie. You don't want to do anything wrong.
Dummy red flag number one is you're a rookie. What are you doing? Go ahead.
And second red flag, I mean, come on. We just saw what happened.
Just saw it.
Totally different situation, by the way. Like, it is a different situation. Ruggs was coming out of – he was like a club, and it was actually like down – it wasn't on like a highway.
Brent, you're going too far back. At the Combine, you had Jalen Carter lose all those draft positions because of speeding.
You're right. I was thinking Ruggs, receiver, NFL, but you're right. Even the Carter stuff, and it's been a big topic. Interestingly enough, it's been a big summer topic of speeding in Athens. And an Atlanta Journal-Constitution writer who actually filed a report about the Bulldogs program recently got fired because some of the wrongdoings in the article. So, but anyway, I don't know, man. I mean, have they just not done the initiation yet? Like the orientation for rookies? I think they already have.
Oh, you think he needs the lecture about not to do 140 in a 55? Come on, man.
But I'm not like self-righteous guy, right? People drive fast, and sometimes people are screwing around. I'm not endorsing that. Like, that's an insane amount of speed. Like,
what's the fastest you've ever driven?
I was actually in a car with somebody that drove, I think, like 110.
That's heavy
but I
duty.
have I mean, sometimes like you'll go. I've driven in Wyoming and stuff like that, and you'll be like just cruising along, and all of a sudden you're like going 95 and don't even realize it.
Yeah, I've kissed 100 twice. Once as a kid in a 1990 Nissan Maxima. It must have been like the year 2001.
Sounds like you don't remember it at all.
Listen to me, man. It was the scariest thing in my life. The whole car started shaking like crazy. I was like, this is more dangerous than I expected. We're going to slow down right now.
I don't know what car he
got
had.
scared.
But
I did get scared.
Like I was in an acquaintance had, I forget what kind of Porsche it was. And yeah, it was an acquaintance. Sorry, it wasn't mine, all right? And so he's like, yeah, I'll take you for, like, you got to feel this thing, whatever it was. And, so, I mean, you can really feel it once you get going.
Yeah.
In those like sports vehicles, like I hadn't been in a lot of them. I hadn't done that.
Well, they'll pin
I've been
you back
around
into
the
the
track at Daytona, But yeah, we'll pin you back. But what does that feel like? I don't know what kind of car this Addison was driving at 140, but it's like you've got to almost feel out of control at that point.
I will say,
I
one
know
year
it's a freeway, but still.
One year, my wife rented us a Tesla because I was obsessed when they first came out.
Oh, that's cool.
For my birthday, we drove around town, got lunch up in Fernandina in a Tesla.
That's a good idea.
It was fun. And I'll tell you this, coming on 295 up by the airport,
he was cooking.
There's a ramp that kind of heads downhill from like 30 feet in the air as it like crosses over. And I was already probably going like 80 as I hit the downside of this ramp. And before I knew it, we were at like 98 miles an hour. You couldn't feel it in this car. You couldn't hear it or feel it. That was one of the things I took away from driving around that Tesla. It could be dangerous in that you can get up there in mileage, and if there's no one else on the road, you won't even know.
Yeah, I do. I think there are some cars. Again, I've always had what you would call like I guess like a standard car or now truck where you're not going. I mean, to go 140 miles an hour, like the cars that I've been in or owned, like would start shaking.
Yeah.
Like once I used to have cars that literally shook when you got to like above 75.
That was my Maxima, man. My Maxima shook. I busted the water pump.
But I don't know what he was in, and I know there are some cars that go like really fast, like right, like so just they do, and 140 might feel like you're not even going that fast, but come on, I mean,
I don't think there's
man.
I don't think
going 90 miles an hour over the speed limit. That is nuts.
So what's going to happen with him?
Nothing.
I don't know.
Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hefty ticket and fine.
Not even
a
suspension.
No, this is the NFL.
Going to do? No, they ain't suspending him for that. I can't imagine.
I don't necessarily think that it's right, but like he ain't getting suspended.
I honestly, I don't know. This is where again, I want to be careful to be like self-righteous here and be like, oh man, I can't believe like these guys aren't angels and nobody does that. Like, come on, people.
Brett, 140 and a 50 has nothing to do with like goody or you're a narc or you're not a, You're not a rebel or whatever. 140 and a 50 is legitimately a danger to society.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's dangerous to yourself, too, and dangerous to society. But I would say my point being here is, and I know this doesn't sound right, but, like, nobody got hurt. And, like, he's not getting suspended. But it's a major red flag, I believe, for the Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that concretely, like he's not getting suspended. I just don't think he's getting suspended.
I mean, you'd be right to think that, I guess, but it seems wild to me.
But on the heels of Ruggs now, you do wonder if, like, they just have to be careful to suspend people for everything. You know, they really do. Like, the NFL cannot be the police.
Well, how about every time you get arrested?
Like, it's 140, though. Like, what is that? Is that like a felony? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
how does that work?
I don't know what he got charged with. Like,
it should be that there's like you can't go 30 over.
I'll tell you this:
speeding.
if you get pulled over, Brent, by JSO doing 140 and a 50, you're leaving in bracelets.
You're going to jail. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like, maybe Addison
yeah,
doesn't have to leave in cuffs because he's Addison, but
like we would have to.
You're going to jail.
Maybe not, Brent.
Do you know who I am?
You're the guy who doesn't talk gators. Yeah, I know.
but what I would say, here's the deal, right? He's going to get a good lawyer. He's going to lawyer up. Vikings are going to do whatever, and it's going to go down to a misdemeanor or something.
Whatever.
Even if it right, but it's not.
You're right.
That's my point. Like the NFL, if it's a misdemeanor, I don't think the NFL can go suspension on a speeding thing. Like I don't
feel like they can do whatever they want.
Well, they can, but I don't think they want to go there. Like, there's, domestic violence, steroids, or performance-enhancing drug. Like, there's categories here, and I just don't think speeding's in the category unless they're really concerned about this and have more reports of it. Because here's the deal: what happens a lot of times, whether you like it or not, is that the team will hear about something, and the player might get off on something even like that. Like. There might be 10 other guys that have been speeding, but, hey, they called whoever.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The fixer comes out and makes it go away, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know how it all works, but it's not like it hasn't happened in the past, you know? So
like how you
they
say
might
maybe.
have more intel.
Come on.
Yeah, a little more than maybe, probably. But anyway, 140 miles an hour, that's just nuts.
It's too much.
And again, I think major red flag on a decision maker or decision making. For a young man that's just entering the NFL. So keep an eye on the career of Jordan Addison. Is this just a thing, a one-off thing? Does he learn from it, or does this become a trendy thing for him?
Think about places where you see a speed limit of 50 miles an hour, because it's not the highway. There are some highways, I guess, in major metropolitan areas.
It was 55. So
okay.
It was probably on the high. I mean, I think it was on a freeway, they said.
All right, even so. Like, all you need is for an animal to jump out somewhere, and you're flipping that car 17 times. And fine, if he wants to put himself in the hospital for speeding, that's his decision. I don't even have a beef with that. But you're literally taking everyone's life in your hands at 140.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what time of day this thing was or anything. But
driving a missile.
Hey, this is an interesting topic that it comes up today, because I was actually thinking this on my way up here to Atlanta. Or like on Sunday, whatever.
How fast can I go?
Not around Atlanta. You can't go too fast. Like, it's hard to get a speeding ticket in Atlanta.
That's true. That's true.
Usually stuck around traffic. But I was thinking, like, so many things have changed. And analytics play such a key role, like, in life, right? They, whatever, even how they build roads, right? Or I'll give you the best example. And this might have been it. I was going around one of the, what do they call the things? Like, roundabouts?
Yeah.
So, like, roundabouts are the thing, right? All of a sudden, in the last 10 years, 15 years, engineers figured out, like, the roundabout is traffic. The way to go, right? It helps the flow of traffic. And so I was thinking, like, 55 miles an hour speed limit in some places, 65 miles an hour speed limit in some places. If you go to, like, the west, I think it's up to 70. I think some even have 80, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, especially the sparsely populated. Yeah.
So my point being, like, the speed limit feels like it's always been the speed limit. Like, will analytics or flow of traffic or amount of vehicles on certain places, will it dictate that changes someday?
I'll tell you what dictates that it changes. Autonomous vehicles.
Oh, there you go.
Self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Once we're not making dumb mistakes because we're looking down at our phone and fender bendering, I think you'll be able to notch that thing up a little bit.
Yeah, and so you think it will go up with autonomous vehicles?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's interesting you say that. Another thought, because I was listening to a podcast on my way up about someone who's had 20 years in the making. They've been trying to build like trucks, autonomous trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So like, just how bizarre will that be? And that's coming soon from at least what I was listening to.
I mean, Austin has already got a pilot program where they're allowing car makers to test their autonomous vehicles in the city.
How about an 18-wheeler with no driver in it?
Yeah, that's really scary.
That is bizarre, man.
Like a ghost truck.
Dude, it's happening. It's going to happen.
It's already
like
happening.
Soon.
Yeah, it's already
like
happening.
Soon. Like sooner than later. Like maybe in the next couple of years. If so whoever, just to save money or drivers or
no, it's a cost saving. It's not even just a shortage. It's like there are laws that say if you're a driver, you can only drive this many hours, and they're mandated to have this much hours of rest. That's to protect us, so they're not sleepy out there hitting people or diving into meth like some of the truck drivers end up doing out there. That's a big category of drug users, guys who do over the road for 24 hours. Oh, yeah. These guys are all jacked up. You don't hear these stories?
Nice job. Way to label them all.
Well, not everybody. Not all the truck drivers. But if you talk about a space that's really addicted to the uppers, it's the over-the-road truckers always getting busted on that stuff.
I like how you said it like, oh, you haven't heard about this? Like, no, I haven't heard about
this.
It's
a thing.
Yeah, I have not heard about that.
In any case, like once you have the autonomous 18-wheeler, you don't need to give rest to anybody. Now, the trip is only as far as the distance is, and you don't have to account for, like, rest or food or anything.
Crazy.
Yeah, I do. I was thinking about it. That's so ironic. Not that I was going 140 at the time I was thinking of it. But just from a moving people standpoint, which I'm always impressed with how like Chick-fil-A line, right, that we always talk about, like, that's good. Like, it's amazing. Like, why can't more people do it? Or Disney. Disney can throw so many people in. I'll give you another one. The Masters, like the shop that people go through, there's like a line like a Disney World ride. And they move people through that thing like so fast. So people moving like engineers are pretty
smart.
Well, not only smart, but valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I got to believe at some point there's going to be a better science around, like, traffic in general, but you might have just nailed it. Might be the autonomous vehicle.
No, the other thing I nailed is the drug use tidbit. Study shows surprising drug use amongst truck drivers. Study from last year, recent study reveals cocaine and methamphetamine use amongst truck drivers may be an underreported phenomenon.
Wow.
It's a problem, folks.
Yeah. That's a tough gig, man. It's a tough job.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
If you want to talk about something I nailed, guys, from before the show, Jeremy Affeldt played for the Giants and the Royals. We completed the grid.
Very good.
Casey's
that was a good
all
one.
over
Immaculate,
this immaculate
what's it called?
grid.
Immaculate grid?
Yeah, Pro Football Reference or Baseball Reference, whoever owns them. Stathead, somebody owns them, right? They bought the Immaculate Grid, Brent, so now they have it on their website.
I had never heard of it until like last week.
Yeah, I got called a boomer because I didn't hear about it 2 weeks ago, and now I know.
It's really popular. It's almost like Sudoku.
It is fun.
Or one of those. Or what was the other one? Wordle recently?
Wordle was another one of them.
Yeah.
I like it because it gives you points. Basically, for those who don't know what the Immaculate Grid is, it's a box. It's a square with 9 boxes inside of it, 3 rows of 3. And then they cross-reference different teams, and then there's usually a stat category. So you'll cross-reference the Mets with the Reds, the Giants, and a 300 hitter. And you got to guess a guy who played for both the Mets and the Reds, then a guy who played for the Mets and the Giants, and then a guy who played for the Mets who hit over 300. And, you'll do it for football or baseball. You only get 9 guesses. If you get one wrong, you don't complete the box. And then your score is based on how rare your answer is, how few people say it. So today was a 1,000-yard receiver for the Chiefs. I put Tyreek Hill. It was the most popular answer. Something like 56% of the people who answered it that. But on the baseball one, I think, Case, what was the one I gave you for baseball? That was a rare one. Do you remember? Or maybe it was the football one. I gave a rare one for football. In any case, I had like a 0.1 on one of them. And if you do like a bunch of them like that.
Are you bragging on my 0.1 that I got?
No, you got one too. But
all
I
right,
one
that's
too.
what I thought.
I'm saying you get a really high score.
They had like a 0.01
yeah,
or something.
The lower that is, the higher your score is overall.
By the way, if you haven't done the grid yet in baseball, Jonathan Sanchez, you're going, what do we got here? Royals, Pirates, that's a 0.1%, folks. Put
that's
that one
a tough
in.
one too.
Wow, that's a good one. Hey, history, this is why people like this, I think, at least from a football. Everybody loves football right now. Not everybody loves baseball, but baseball history still is king. Am I right?
I mean, I feel that way, but only because when we were young, baseball was king, right? Like,
well,
it was
really.
It was baseball and everybody else. There wasn't a close second place.
I don't know about when we were like like we were in like
You're
the
right.
time
You were young
change.
way before I was.
This is like thousands of years ago.
No,
yeah.
you and I are in the same boat there. Like, yeah, baseball was all right, but you also, like, I was 17 when the strike happened. Like, we
No,
start
man,
seeing,
I'm talking
like,
late
we start
80s.
seeing the morphing into football.
Late
in the
80s.
late 80s into the 90s.
No football in the late 80s. You're out of your mind if you think football was higher than basketball or baseball in the late 80s. It's just
I'm not
not
saying
a
it's
thing.
higher, but I feel like we were starting to see the popularity and the change start to happen, like the morphing of it. Like, it wasn't – if you want baseball to be king, I mean, you got to go back into anything before 1985, I would think.
I don't know, early 90s, man. Baseball was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. The Oakland Earthquake series, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal. But anyway, baseball history is way better than football history.
It is fun.
Like,
it's
way
so
better.
based on stats.
I'm not saying you have to love baseball and watch every night. I know you're going to watch football more, but the history of baseball, I think, is just like all you can do is go to the Hall of Fame. All right, where do you rather go, Cooperstown or Canton?
Either one is fine for me.
Cooperstown, way better.
Sorry, I got it wrong. I mean, excuse me if I'm not lit up by going to the bunt wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame.
To be honest, I'm not like a crazy Hall of Fame guy either. But Kasey, do you like baseball history? I know you're a baseball guy, but you're like an everything guy.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
But like, you don't care about Dan Marino,
No, I
or
don't.
like Johnny Unitas, or
No, not even a
Joe
little bit.
Namath, or like,
No, sir.
So you don't care about football history, but you do care about your favorite Babe Ruth, or Mickey
Do you care
Mantle,
about baseball
or
history?
Hank Aaron, or
More than football, I do.
That's my point. That's my point.
Like
You
I've been
played
actually,
baseball, though.
I've been actually waiting to float this one out there.
Oh,
It's on the same lines of the Babe Ruth one.
okay.
Was Joe Namath actually good, or was it just so long ago that like
It's not that it was so long ago.
everybody else sucked and he just was mediocre?
It's not that it was so long ago. It's that he called his shot and hit it as a wild underdog.
So this guy is legit Babe Ruth.
It's very much like Joe Namath. Actually, he does have like a mythical.
It's Babe Ruth
Because he wasn't like an all-time great quarterback.
right?
Well,
Babe-
the other
Oh,
one in
my
this conversation,
goodness.
guys, is Bradshaw. Because if you look Bradshaw's numbers, they're like okay,
Except for
like,
Super Bowls.
very okay. But he won 4 Super Bowls, and that
Yeah.
like every guy on that team was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And I'm
You're-
not saying Bradshaw was bad. I'm
No,
just,
you're
sorry, Pittsburgh fans.
You're
but I'm
basically, you're calling Terry Bradshaw Mark Sanchez of the Steelers. I get it.
Have you ever heard anybody say Bradshaw's like a top 10 quarterback all time? No, like
No.
he's not even close. Like
No.
it's not even close. But he did know how to win Super Bowls, so that often helps. We'll be back, Brent and friends. Speaking of trying to win a Super Bowl, can the Jags offensive line help them get there? We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hazy sunshine, hot and humid today. The high near 100 degrees. Feel like temperatures near or a little bit above 105. Dropping to the mid to upper 70s tonight, and a hot Friday into partly sunny skies. Highs in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Save up to 40% now during the Christmas and July sale at Beard's Diamonds.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
We're in the middle of summer. Be ready for anything, on the road or off the road, at Nimnick Buick GMC. No one will ever pay over MSRP at Nimnick Buick GMC, the place where my family has purchased 6 vehicles since we've been in Jacksonville. Go to Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Are you looking for a used car under $18,000? Maybe one for the kids? Nimnick has a great selection, over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Make the superior choice when you hire a plumber. From unclogging drains and water heater repairs to complete cast iron pipe replacements, Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has you covered. Request a free estimate from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining at superiorplumbingjax.com.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more. October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same.
Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
As founder of Talon Wealth, what is Mike Lester keeping an eye on?
Once we do see a big pullback, then we want to be prepared to pivot over to more traditional portfolios that go up when markets go up. So we think we're going to see a pullback in the economy and then also in markets, but then we're going to get an opportunity to move back into more traditional investments. And to us at Talon Wealth, that's what active management is about. Worrying about these ups and downs in markets so clients don't have to, and it's also doing our best to navigate it.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to better understand your options.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. AM radio is also the backbone of the emergency alert system, which keeps us safe in dangerous times. It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Smoothie King is a family thing for my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife Steph gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new extreme watermelon lemonade. Extreme watermelon smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
How about the guy we had never heard of? We thought he was trying to say Jordan Spieth, and instead Jordan Smith got off to a pretty good start.
Oh, look at that.
So did Jordan Spieth.
Who?
I played him in fantasy just for you, Aaron.
Did you?
Yeah, I never even checked what happened. He's even par?
Even par, yeah.
I'll take it.
So right now we've got this Lamprecht fella who's an amateur at 5 under. He's a Georgia Tech guy. Did I see that right, Kasey? Georgia Tech?
I don't know.
If he is, we're going to run on Georgia Tech folks lately because him and then the tennis dude that made a run.
Good old tennis dude.
Eubanks.
Oh, yeah.
He was a Georgia Tech guy.
Jeez, my boys suck. I told you, Tommy Fleetwood. I told you.
Fleetwood's, I didn't realize Fleetwood's like from 20 minutes from there.
Yeah.
Just down the road.
That's his stuff. My boys suck. Holy cow.
You know golf, right? And Kasey pays attention to it. But first round of the Open Championship, almost in the books. And this Lamprecht guy is in the lead at 5 under along with Fleetwood. Of course, everybody's heard of Fleetwood. I think a lot of people, even golf-wise, would have heard from Grillo. He won recently. He's 5 under. But who are these guys? Rosner, Ategi?
Oh, I thought the access went out for a second.
Bless me. I mean, I have no idea. Do you know who those guys are? Have you heard of them?
Yeah, Rosner or whatever. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay. That's the beauty of the Open, right?
And the French, he's French, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's the beauty of the Open. You can get some.
Brian Harmon's in fourth? Holy cow.
Oh, the lefty, man. Sweet swinging lefty. And
Michael Jordan's up there.
Scores.
Matthew Jordan.
Yes.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's see where else. Where's Rory McIlroy? He had some birdies on the back, and now
30
He's even. He's even. Your guy Terrell Hatton had it going and then fell back a bit.
That's all right.
He's an emotional roller coaster player.
He really is. Can't watch
gosh,
it.
he talks to the hole and the ball and the everything.
Yeah, he's just speaking his mind freely. Love him.
Anyway, that's the latest at the Open Championship. Might talk a little golf coming up in the 4 o'clock hour as well in terms of course design and everything else. Hopefully we get the Open Championship and the wind blowing and the rain pouring so we can watch it with some theater over the next few days. Seems like we haven't gotten that recently at the Open Championship. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. We've been trying to dissect some of the Jags roster position group-wise. Guys, I will make an outlandish statement.
Oh, boy.
You don't like his outlandish statements?
I want to hear it first.
I think the metrics will say
okay,
the Jags have a top 5 offensive line when this year's done.
Whoa. That is a hot take.
Well, thank you. I do. I like their offensive line, and I understand that there's got a little bit of, mystery to it with the whole Cam Robinson situation and everything else. But I think they're going to settle that thing down. I think they have a lot of depth. I think they have a lot of answers when it comes to their offensive line in case some things don't work out. Like, I don't think they're one injury away from the offensive line being a disaster.
But there's a world of difference between that and a top 5 unit.
Yeah, but it protects against the top. It can protect against that being the case.
Let me ask you this: would you be as satisfied if the pass protection from the unit was great, if not bordering on elite, and the run protection was again a disappointment?
Well, I probably would be somewhat satisfied because we see the pass protection stuff. First of all, you got to take care of Trevor. That's the ultimate thing.
Sure.
It's more important that they take care of Trevor than run the ball well.
That's why I'm asking.
In my opinion.
But to be a top 5 unit, you really have to be good at both, is why I'm asking.
Both.
Yeah.
You have to do both. And I think they will. I think they have addressed their power run game better. I think they'll be better in that category. And I also think they ran the ball pretty well last year overall. So, and this is where I get a little bit of a pass. We have no idea what a good offensive line is. We think we do. If you put a couple of Pro Bowlers on it, you say they're good. There was some talk Quentin Nelson was not playing well last year for the Indianapolis Colts, but he gets the benefit of the doubt because he's played well for the first 5 years of his career. Brandon Sheriff, big name, comes with a great resume. Wasn't great last year. He did have to play on one leg. But I think the Jags offense is going to show you that they are good in the run and the pass and putting up points, and therefore your offensive line's pretty good. Like Kansas City. Kansas City's offensive line stabilized nicely last year. That was an issue at times for them over these last couple of seasons. And it got better and stabilized, and they invested in it, and they continue to do so with Jawan Taylor. But I really think the Jags are going to have an offensive line that's very strong. Like, I like it a lot. And the one question mark for me, it's not like who's playing where. It's really how good is Anton Harrison. Can he hold it down from day one? Because we just don't know. He's never played right tackle, really, and he's never played in the NFL. Are you guys less confident?
A little less confident. And, I tend to subscribe to those publications like PFF. I know it frustrates you guys. I know it frustrates you guys. I get it.
I'm going to get you a subscription for Christmas.
I have one. That's why I use it.
I'll renew it for you.
Cool. I appreciate that.
There goes your tax write-off.
Nice.
I'll add it to mine.
I understand that you guys don't always agree with PFF, and that's fine. I don't necessarily always agree with them either, but I do find it useful, especially when talking about things like offensive line, because there are no metrics that we all get to see. It's really game tape stuff. And PFF seems to think they are able to quantify that with metrics. And I'll tell you what they said, because a week ago they published their offensive line rankings for the upcoming 2023 season. In your top 5, You've got names you'd expect to see there. Philadelphia Eagles. Does that shock anybody?
No.
Cleveland Browns, 2 or 3 All-Pros on that line.
I guess.
Kansas City Chiefs, another 1 or 2 on that line.
Sure.
Baltimore Ravens. And then in number 5, up 3 from last year, the Detroit Lions. Anyone want to take a guess where they predict the Jaguars unit will end up for the 2023 season?
27.
Kasey says 27. Brent says 13. 13th place on this list are the New England Patriots with Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Onwenu, and Riley Reif. You said 27, Case. 27 seems a bit low. That's the Washington Commanders.
Oh.
Although, you were very close because PFF has them ranked at 26.
Dang it, man.
Really?
26 is a far cry from 5.
I was
Cancel
so close.
your subscription.
Here's what they say. Losing Juwan Taylor almost certainly downgrades the group, even though the team added Anton Harrison in the draft.
I agree with that.
Taylor was the best graded pass protector of the group last year, 21 pressures in 19 games. Their line ranked 9th in pass blocking efficiency, but by far the worst graded run blocking unit in all of football.
Ooh.
Best player on the line listed as Cam Robinson. Uh-oh. He's out for the first 4 games.
Uh-oh.
With no Juwan Taylor, no Cam Robinson. Like, I don't know how you expect them to take a giant leap to 5th. If it happens, I'll be happy for you guys. I'll be happy for the team. It'll be a fun season. Let me tell you something. Trevor Lawrence standing behind the number 5 line in football. This is going to be a Super Bowl run.
Okay, here's one thing. I know you think they're gospel. They're not gospel
Not
at
necessarily,
PFF.
but I do. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, because the thing about it is, if you didn't see those numbers, you would not say they were 26
Probably
or
not.
20. You wouldn't have said that last year. And here's another thing that's going to help me out. First of all, Travis Etienne's good at making people miss. You know what? The guy they picked up in the 3rd round is pretty good at that in college as well, in Bigsby. And Trevor Lawrence is really good at making other people look good, especially his offensive line, because he can get out of stuff, he can play on the move, and he can get the quick release going. And so he's going to bail them out sometimes and make the numbers look better.
You're describing the difference between what PFF does and what we do. Because we'll watch a game and we'll be like, oh, no sacks against Trevor. Etienne at 120 yards. Line's looking great. And PFF goes, okay, but there's no sacks on Trevor because he leads the league in getting the ball out quickly. And Etienne had 120 because 2 of his runs were for 80 yards.
The Jags were like 10th in the league in yards per carry last year. How does that equate to like such a bad rushing offense?
Because it just wasn't happening at the line. These were outside runs. You've seen it a ton of times. Etienne is just the fastest guy on the field sometimes.
I like him. Let's continue with and dissect him a little bit more.
Let's do it.
All right, Cam Robinson's going to be gone for the first 4 weeks. We're comfortable with Walker Little over there. Like, that's the crazy thing is. Like, if Cam Robinson was out 8 weeks, I think people would be comfortable with Walker Little.
I think some people would be happier. Yeah.
They might be.
Yeah.
They might be. So, would start right there. Whoever's playing left tackle, I think people are comfortable with. The guard situation is one where I think is way better than a lot of people probably do.
Okay.
I think Ben Barch is more than capable. I know the injury came, and that's a thing. Like, that's seriously a thing. But he was on his way. I think the arrow was up with him. And even if it doesn't work out where he's not fully back, Tyler Shatley's an option, and then Walker Little potentially is an option again. I don't love that option. I have to see that in action to really believe it. But they have cards to play.
Yeah, they've got depth and versatility.
And if there is one, I'm not saying you can be bad at a spot, but if you can be a little deficient at one spot, like the guard position, you can probably get away with it a little bit. You know, you don't have to be all pro at every position on the offensive line. I think Luke Fortner here is the key to my argument. I think he has a chance to have a very good second year. This is a guy that I believe is on the rise. Like, he has a chance to be a really good center in the National Football League. And then Brandon Sheriff, I believe, will play much better than he did last year. Like, you have to buy into that. He's going to be better than he was a season ago. So, like, I think that their strength on the offensive line is in 3 positions: left tackle, center, and right guard. Definitely unknown at the right tackle spot. I'll buy that. But, I mean, I don't know what he has to – you think he can play better than Juwan Taylor in the run game, right? You've given us the metrics on Juwan Taylor before in the run game.
Yep.
The key will be the pass protection on that right side. Will Trevor trust him? And how soon can you get that trust? And, of course, all that goes to There's some depth with other guys. Like, they believe that they have, like, 9 players that they're comfortable with. Like, it might be a hard cut for them in September on the offensive line position if everyone stays healthy. And they'll get a little bit of a pass because for the first 4 games, obviously, they can keep an extra guy because Cam Robinson's going to be out. So, again, it's not a heralded group. It's not a highly decorated group outside of Brandon Sheriff. I think it's a group now that's been together. I think Phil Rauscher, by the way, is really good. Underrated. Phil Rauscher is like one of their best coaches on the staff.
I'd buy into that.
And I think Trevor and Etienne and everything else will help them out and make them look maybe even a bit better than they are. But that doesn't matter. Perception is reality.
Here's just to reset for a second. We're talking about an offensive line, and you're right. They played together now going on the second year. They gelled as a group, certainly in the second half of the year. Trevor certainly helps them look good. But we're talking about players on this offensive line who were, for the most part, in position battle. Like Cam Robinson wasn't in a position battle, but he's not playing your first 4 games. Brandon Sheriff wasn't in a position battle last year, but underperformed would be an understatement. You really hope he bounces back, but at this point in his career, you just don't know, right? He did play through an injury, so you expect him to be better. But like Barch was in a position battle last year. I know you like him, and he ended up playing well until the what was it, a knee dislocation?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sounds nasty.
Yeah, and like who knows what kind of pressure you could put on that leg after that. I imagine you can, but time will tell. Fortner, by the way, and I know you love him. PFF happens to disagree with you, and that's fine. I won't even tell you what they say. It'll make you really mad.
Well, I think some of it's skewed by his early season stuff.
And it was a little ugly according to their grades in the early season. But again, here's a guy who isn't a pure center. Like he's learning on the job. And so I think it's an unfair expectation to throw down on him to like really expect a monster season out of him. Like I would be happy with a top 20 season from Luke Fortner as far as these metrics go versus what we saw last year and what they have him ranked at.
Yeah, I don't know how the metrics work. I don't know what that means. I just think, I guarantee you, if you ask coaches around the National Football League, Fortner is a top half of the league center by the end of the year.
That'd be great for Trevor.
Like, and I'm talking about like if you could get the truth out of offensive line coaches, I bet they'd rank him. If they watch the tape, forget about PFF for a minute, but they would. And I think that's where he's at. And I would also say, some of my comfort is, guys, and this goes back to the injury part. If they do have an injury, and I'm assuming they keep Shatley, like they have a lot of depth. Shatley,
lots of depth.
I think he can survive this because of his versatility. You didn't hear Shatley's name hardly at all when he went into left guard. And he's an undersized left guard. I get it. But you hardly heard his name. And he also can play center. And he also can play right guard. And he's been a guy everybody's been trying to cut for 8 years around here, and he's the longest tenured Jag. And he's a grown man. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think that position being it sounds silly to say in the NFL because they're pros and they're big guys, but there's grown man guys and there's young guys, right? There's young men guys. And you talk about Sheriff, he's a grown man. Cam Robinson, he's a grown man. Shatley, grown man. Now, Fortner, one of my issues with him is he's a young man still. Like,
still learning.
He's still learning. Like, those guys, Anton Harrison, Walker Little, I don't know how I feel. He's kind of in between for me. But, like, the difference between them and the Eagles are like these grizzled old veterans with, like, drool coming out of their beards in December, the cold weather, and they look like straight out of NFL films, right?
Yeah.
The Jags are not there yet because they got some pups. But they also have been together outside of Harrison. There's a group that's been together a bit now, and I like that. I really like that. I'll always say this. I covered the Giants through a stretch, like their first Super Bowl, and I watched because they'd come up to camp for in Albany, and so we covered them pretty tight especially for 6 weeks of camp, and 5 weeks, 4 weeks of camp, whatever it was. But their offensive line, I want to say from 2004 or 5 and then 6 to 7, one of the underrated things about the Giants team that won the Super Bowl, that first one especially, is that offensive line had been together for years. Like, the other big thing is that they went and just kept drafting pass rushers. They did. I mean, people were like, why are they drafting Osi Umenyiora or whatever? And
well, now you
they
found
only had
out.
Michael Strahan, and then they needed them all. right?
JPP
It started
as
the
well.
trend. They actually started the trend, the Giants did, I believe, where you had to go like 8 deep on your defensive front. But that offensive line stayed together. The Jags' offensive line is one that's now like been around this area, this building, this staff for 2 years, but they've been around each other. And I've also heard it's a very close group, like super tight group, which I think helps. I guess everybody would probably say their offensive line group is tight, but this one is something you hear about. So I like the offensive line, guys. I really do.
I'd be curious to hear from you if we had to rank their position groups on the roster, where you think that offensive line ranks amongst other position groups on the roster.
Yeah, that's a tough. I'll think about it. That's a tough one. And here's one of the reasons why it's tough for the Jags. Jags are pretty damn good, Aaron.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty good on paper.
Sure.
So it's hard to, because you might be ranked 4th or even 5th doesn't mean you're bad.
No, not at all. I'm just curious where they sit on the list.
Maybe we'll do that, like, by the time we get through all these groups, by middle of next week.
To put a bow on the segment.
Yeah, there you go. I like
it.
that. Ketchup on eggs, yes or no? When we come back, I want you to answer. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Ready for a helpful tip? If you've got to drive it, rent it with Rent a Toyota at Arlington Toyota. Whether it's a car for a business trip, an SUV for an outdoor adventure, or a spacious minivan for that family vacation with all the stuff. If you've got to drive it, rent it with Rent a Toyota at Arlington Toyota. Rent a Toyota at Arlington is the best way to try it before you buy it. You can even rent 2023 models. And Arlington's competitive rental rates will put you behind the wheel with ease. Reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Here's your quote for a new AC system. And if you sign this 10-page contract in the next 3 seconds, we can install it day after tomorrow.
Wait a second, something's strange. You're my third quote, and it's exactly the same system and terms as the first two. How can that be?
Well, corporate doesn't want me to tell you this, but we're all owned by the same corporation. Less profit when you earn trust over time. Better to buy established AC companies. That way the customers have no other options. Corporate says benefits. Yeah, that's it.
I have another option. I'm calling Hammond.
For generations, Hammond continues to be the most recommended AC company by your neighbors. Make the switch to Hammond Air Conditioning instead of an out-of-town corporate AC company, so you aren't forced into higher prices, fewer options, and worse service. Summer's a perfect time to call Hammond. They are experts on how an AC system can lower your electric bills and get you great rebates at the same time. Go to HammondAir.com.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Winter is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Brent and Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Thursday, talking Jags. We'll talk a little Open Championship and golf course design coming up in a bit. Get you set for the weekend of the Open Championship. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. Guys, we're talking today as a fam. Steph, Kaylee, Ty, myself.
Oh, I thought you were finally considering me and Kasey.
Nope.
Like part of your thing.
And
you see, really quick
part
with
of
that.
Part of your thing.
Nope. Not you guys. Nope.
And I don't know how it even came up because we're eating lunch, but I think we had some fries and ketchup, and so somehow it came up eggs and ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
And so where do you guys stand on this? Do you put eggs? Do you put ketchup on your eggs?
Aaron?
Not only do I put ketchup on my eggs, guys, I don't think I've had eggs without ketchup more than 5 times in the last 5 years. And I have eggs often.
I thought people put ketchup on, like, everything.
I do.
So, Kasey?
I think you have to be a certain level of disgusting to put ketchup on eggs.
Are you insane?
Nope. I'm normal.
No, most people agree with me, bro.
No, most people are disgusting.
Looking it up.
Yeah, but actually, here's the thing.
Put it on the board.
I actually did a poll question.
Hold on. Because I did see you tweeted it got more response than the other poll. So, Case?
Yes.
Over-under of 399.5 on the ketchup. Oh, you probably saw. You did, or else you would have said something. Never mind.
No, because here's the thing. I saw it relatively recently, and it wasn't over that number, but I think it got there, so I'll go over.
399.5, he's going over.
Knowing that when I voted on it, I was 303, like an hour ago. So I'm hoping for the best here.
Okay.
Brent,
what do we got?
657.
Yeah, baby.
Oh!
I'm back.
Nice.
I'm back.
About ketchup and eggs.
I like it, though.
And
Forget about the Jags. I mean, you tweet about Evan Ingram, you ask a poll question, you get a couple hundred.
Look, if
you go ketchup on eggs, it's 657 in an hour and a half.
You really want to go ketchup poll question, ask about steak or chicken. You'll see some really angry people in the comments.
Yeah, that's also disgusting. 657, Brent, what did they say?
No. By 73%.
I told you.
That
I
is
told
ridiculous.
you.
What do you put on eggs?
Nothing. You eat them. Pepper.
No, but this is a
Cheese.
shift in our society.
Do you trust BuzzFeed more than Brent, Case, or no?
No. Here's the deal. You know what people put on their eggs more? This has been a change over the last 20 years.
I know what it is.
Salsa or hot sauce.
I was going to go with catsup. Ketchup's uglier brother.
But hot sauce has really come to life in the last 15 years.
I do put Frank's Red Hot on eggs sometimes.
I do too. Because they'll ask me. They're like, "Hey, do you want?" I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah, a little twist, a little switch up. I'm good with it.
No, I want my
salsa.
eggs.
Like, what's the omelet that you get some salsa on? Is it
We'll do like a Western with some salsa on top, some ham, cheese, peppers, onions.
I'll do that, but I don't actively go seek out salsa to put on my eggs.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I will on scrambled eggs. I'll put ketchup. On like any other kind of egg, I don't.
Scrambled every egg I eat in a sandwich gets ketchup.
You guys disgust me.
Nah, see, that's not. I'm with the UK. Like, it's just on scrambled eggs for me, not on like Over Easy or wherever else. Like, that would be weird, right?
According to a BuzzFeed survey, 54% of people, Case.
Oh, how about that?
Putting ketchup on their eggs.
Okay.
39% doing the hot sauce.
Okay. 54% of y'all are disgusting. I don't care. You guys are gross. All of y'all.
Stevie says, hell yeah. Ray says,
Gross.
Michael says ketchup is not needed on any food that is properly seasoned.
Thank you, Michael.
That's accurate,
The
though.
system says my 8-year-old does. Salsa on eggs is where it's at.
Your 8-year-old's
Scott
gross.
says no to ketchup on scrambled eggs, but salsa? I can do that. Logan McDonald from Action News Jacks jumps in. Scrambled eggs, yes, but people who put it on an omelet or over easy eggs need to stay far, far away.
Logan's gross.
Wade, if the scrambled eggs aren't very good or average, ketchup is a great option.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey says hot sauce for me. A1?
A1?
Here's the
A1,
thing.
says Jim.
A little tangy,
Or
but
hot
I
sauce.
can get with it. A little tangy. But Brent, you really want to get grossed out, man. Have I ever told you what else? I put ketchup on spaghetti sometimes.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I told my wife that once. She threatened to divorce me.
Like my buddy Pat, who I bring up sometimes on the
Pickleball
show.
Pat.
Right? Pickleball Pat. He will put blue cheese
Whoa.
or ketchup on like anything.
Blue
Now,
cheese,
the
I draw
thing
a line at right
The
there.
thing about it is he doesn't eat a lot of different things. You know, like he's kind of like I'm eating my pizza.
I hear what you're
chicken.
telling me. You're saying he likes to put ketchup on his blue cheese is what you're saying.
not a mix, but he's a ketchup guy. I just thought everybody was a ketchup person.
I stay away from most foods that could be described as chunky. Not really into chunky foods.
Kind of figured you'd like that.
No, I'm a chunky person. I'll cop to that.
Floppy disk body.
Chunky or floppy? Can you be both at the same time?
Probably.
Man, scrambled eggs are good with some ketchup.
No, they're not. They're gross.
Yeah, they are, actually.
You put a
They're
little
good
too
with
much
ketchup,
salt
man.
on there, too. Now you're talking my language.
Jeez.
Scrambled eggs for everybody. Hot sauce, man. When you were a kid, nobody talked about hot sauce. Now we have stores down in like St. Augustine.
This is a good point.
Are just selling hot sauce.
I got one even better for you. Their Tabasco makes like a green datil pepper sauce.
Oh, yeah, the daddle stuff is
Daddle, yeah, it's great, especially on some I don't know how to say it, Case. I'm sorry.
Clearly.
But put it on scrambled eggs. Oh, mamma mia!
I'll tell you, like they have like daddle baked beans at some of the barbecue places.
Nice.
Corn. Oh,
I can get
that's
with that.
good. That's good.
I can get with that right now.
Getting hungry. 4 o'clock hour on the way. Hungry for more. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more! October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisory fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, we want to thank you for your service.
Talon Private Wealth, LLC. Investing in stock markets involves the risk of loss, and there is no guarantee that all or any capital invested will be repaid. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Florida license D056341. California license 0N00828.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
We're in the middle of summer. Be ready for anything, on the road or off the road at Nimnick Buick GMC. No one will ever pay over MSRP at Nimnick Buick GMC, the place where my family has purchased 6 vehicles since we've been in Jacksonville. Go to Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Are you looking for a used car under $18,000? Maybe one for the kids? Nimnick has a great selection, over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco says he'll be at full strength in time for the season opener against the Lions. Pacheco had off-season shoulder and hand surgeries after leading the team in rushing yards as a rookie. The baseball trade deadline is a week from Tuesday. All eyes on Shohei Ohtani of the Angels. But ESPN's Tim Kirkchin doesn't believe Ohtani will be traded before the deadline.
To me, their only shot of keeping him is to have a great final 2 months, and they just swept the Yankees. Somehow either make the playoffs or get really close and show Ohtani that we are going to be playing in October moving forward.
Tim Kirkchin, the first round of the Open Championship winding down. There's a 3-way tie for the lead, including rising Georgia Tech senior Christo Lamprecht. He's 5 under along with Tommy Fleetwood and Emiliano Grillo. Opening day at the Women's World Cup, the 2 host teams pick up wins. New Zealand surprises Norway with a 1-0 win. Australia beats Ireland 1-0.
If you need solid hires fast, you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from the same place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
It really hit me. Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to Brent and Friends. Open Championship weekend is here. Final major of the calendar year. 3-way tie at the top. Lamprecht, Fleetwood, Grillo. And you got to go down to get some of the big names that you might know, like Jordan Spieth, 12th, 3 shots back. Keep going down, and you'll get Brooks Koepka at 1 under. Schauffele and Scheffler also 1 under. But David Lingmerth, good to see him back playing some good golf at 1 under par. Jacksonville resident. Victor Hovland 1 under par as well. So some pretty good scoring out there. Rory McIlroy finished at even par, won the Scottish Open last week. Talk a little bit about golf course design. The Open Championship is always fun to watch. It's just a different viewing experience, especially when the weather kicks up. We welcome course architect, designer Eric Larson to the show. We've had him on before. He's been a part of some local course architecture like Atlantic Beach Country Club and the newly renovated St. Johns County course down there in St. Johns County. Eric, thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem, Brent. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Hey, I need the weather to kick up a little bit out there at the Open Championship. It's more fun when that happens.
Well, I did look at the weather. It looks like there's going to be some breeze, not up into the 20-mile-an-hour range for wind, but double digits all week. It looks like with rain too. That's always going to, intermittent. That's always going to affect scores.
linked style golf might be, in my opinion, some of the most fun to play, and I think more because we're from the United States that we just don't see it a lot. Like you do have it in certain parts of the country, so it's a unique experience. But I've always enjoyed it when you do get the opportunity. Do you find that to be the case with a lot of, I would say, American golfers?
Yeah, it's completely unique. And particularly like Royal Liverpool or some of the guys that have gone over there might know it as Hoy Lake. But it is completely different, and it is different primarily because it's a links golf course, which is not the name of the necessarily the type of golf course, but it describes the land. Links land is the land between the ocean or the bays and firths, as they call them, and inland. And it's really kind of just featureless land. There's gorse. It's not mountainous. It's just kind of rumply, I guess is kind of the term for it. And that's unusual in the United States. You don't find that topography. So, and then the featuring is completely different with what was originally were called pits, are now called bunkers or sand traps. But they were just hollowed out places in the ground where sheep would gather to get out of the wind. The wind's always a factor. And they have then developed into these round, almost symmetrical bunkers, and they use stacked sod to create that layered look. We're actually doing some of that in the United States now with artificial turf to create a revetment type bunker. But it's completely unusual. It's very, very unusual to see anything like that in the United States. Completely unique and different, which makes it fun. It's always interesting, right? That's what makes it fun is the variety and type of course like that.
Eric Larson with us. You can check out some of his work on larsongolf.net. He obviously, as we told you in the past, worked with Arnold Palmer and his design company and more than 100 golf courses and golf course communities worldwide. And I got to believe that's part of the fun of it, right? For someone that's trying to map out a vision of a golf course it's all the things that you just mentioned, right? The history behind why the land is the land and what the land is there to give you. And I would assume most course designers probably want to keep some of that origin in their design.
Oh, absolutely. We always want to let nature speak to us and provide, because it can't be duplicated. It makes so that every golf course is unique and has its own character. That's what nature brings to you. Now, the way you set it up strategically, though, that's where the architect has his say on how you're going to play the game. And I will say this guy, Harry Colt, who may not be a household word, but certainly should be certainly is for a golf course architect. Maybe the greatest ever, certainly is in the top, in the top circles there. 100 plus golf courses of his own design, 300 that he worked on along with Alistair McKenzie. And they were the guys really that took golf course architecture from being, well, if any of you have been down to the St. John's Golf Club, I did an old throwback style. Wes Tucker and I kind of kicked that around and did a style that was reminiscent of Seth Rayner and C.B. McDonald, which is square bunker, square coffin type, or coffin type bunker, square greens, Barrett's, Redan, Edam, those punch bowl type templates. Well, Harry Colton and Alistair McKenzie really were the guys that broke away from that and went to a real natural looking golf course. Although Royal Liverpool is not that. It does have the revetment bunkers, but the rest of the golf course just lays perfectly on the land, reminiscent of even St. Andrews. So you'll get that style, and you really in order to pick up it from eye level or tee shot or approach shot level, it really can be quite nondescript, and you can have some trouble identifying your target lines. But watch carefully when they do overhead views. You'll see how strategic the golf course is. Bunkers are not necessarily, the ball doesn't go into the bunker just with lands in or is close by. They can tend to be gathering type bunkers. So if you hit it within 20, 30, even 50 feet sometimes, it'll curve around and gather into that hazard. And those hazards are very difficult, particularly for fairway shots, where you have to advance the ball 100-plus yards down the fairway. You can't get up over the lip. They can be 3 and 4 feet vertically, so it's really difficult to score. So I think you'll find players avoiding fairway bunkers at all costs. And, this golf course is 144, I think, to be exact, years old. And we're playing a modern major tournament with the new technology. I think it's remarkable how well this golf course and work of these old masters has held up through the ages. It's certainly noteworthy here. And, attaboy, I I'd hope that one of my courses would even host a major. They have several PGA events, but wouldn't that be something that 150 years ago from now they're playing a course on a contemporary or a contemporary's golf course? I think that's just really, really terrific stuff.
I think it is pretty remarkable about the sport of golf, but there has been a lot of talk about that with the U.S. Open out in L.A. this past year, and whether it can meet today's standards, the rollback stuff they're talking about in the sport of golf. As we visit with Eric Larson, who has worked on many designs and golf course architecture, and will these continue to stand the test of time? I mean, do you just think it will happen, or will they have to do something because these guys are just so big, strong, the technology's so good, it feels like we have to rely on weather. And I know you always have had to rely on weather in these big majors, but it feels like more than ever, weather could be a big deciding factor at where the scoring is.
Well, and it should be. I mean, that's a natural feature, a natural element that these links courses particularly have in their favor to defend score. Perhaps is a lot of the reason why golf courses are so prolific in that area, on that topo and in that weather. So I think the weather will continue to be a factor in keeping those types of golf courses, those old golf courses, relevant. Perhaps if it was calm. If it was in areas of calm weather, then they probably could get overpowered. But the weather keeps them in the hunt for sure.
Well, we know that with the Players Championship too.
Well, in the wind, but the wind at the Players Championship is relatively uncommon. I live right across the street here, and it's. For example, Sawgrass Country Club is very affected by the wind on a constant basis, where you can go across the street, go across A1A, and it's not nearly as affected because it's so deeply nestled into trees and large, big, beautiful oak trees and magnolia. So it's not as affected as, say, Sawgrass Country Club, certainly not as much as the Linksland courses over in Scotland and in Ireland and England here. I think it's going to be a really neat test of golf. And Brent, I do think these courses are going to hold up for the long term. Yeah, an interesting feature though too is that the fairways and the greens are really kind of like the same. They have the same roll and undulation and roly-poly rumpled look. So, and when they dry out, the ball rolls out equally on the fairways as it does in the greens. So that's a good defense to scoring as well.
Eric Larson with us. Check him out, ericlarson.net, for some of his work that he's done, including Atlantic Beach Country Club, which is completely different than St. John's Golf Club. And last time we visited with you, I hadn't played it. I have played it since. It's fantastic. It's fun. Are the reviews as good as I just gave? And also, like, my kid goes down there and plays all the time. He loves it. Is that the kind of feedback you're getting?
At St. John's Golf Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brent, I'm very proud of this fact that I've had a lot of friends and a lot of area pros play down there, and the similar word I get is fun, and that's all we're trying to do is make a fun experience that comes in a lot of different ways with variety, interest, beauty, strategy, all those things, but fun is really it's just a lot of fun. Eric, way to go! It's a lot of, and that couldn't be better praise for a golf course architect.
Yeah, absolutely. One last thing for you. As we talk about the Open Championship, and you look at so many fantastic players, and the Open gives us some names that we don't know because you'll get a lot of players that just don't play on the PGA Tour that we see every weekend. And we have a little bit of that already at the top of the leaderboard. Is today's player, do they embrace, like even the American player, do they embrace the Open more than they used to on a whole? Or do games just fit every style course now?
I think that they do embrace it because of the history. I mean, look, they're playing on a 140-year-old golf course. That deserves some credit, right? Some credibility. So I think now these guys are playing for money. They're playing for real money, and it's not just lunch money. So they do like to play the courses that suit them, no doubt about it. But they all are professionals at this great game, and this respect, I think, is almost universally given to these old golf courses of classic old style like this, whether it's a young player coming out of college or an old guy that's been around the block, you know. So, yeah, I do. Now, each one of them is going to have their favorite that's going to fit their eye and fit their game, that they're going to be able to score regularly and go low on. But I think that it's just hard to deny that, as I've said, this course is 145 years old, and to be able to still hold up in scoring. By the way, I'd take 12 under right now to win, and I think anybody would take that and go. I'll just lob that out there, Brent. But that's pretty remarkable in this day and age. And I'm back to Harry Colt, the architect. Got to put in a little plug for our profession here as well. I mean, here's a guy, excuse me, a guy that designed Muirfield and Royal County Down. If you've ever seen these two or played those two, they're just magnificent golf course. And then, you know, arguably one of the best golf courses certainly in the United States in Pine Valley, touched up a little bit. So this wasn't just a lucky guess at this golf course. This was a very serious, and the most accredited golf course architect of the time that designed this Royal Liverpool. So this is the way to go to the European community for slotting this venue as the Open Championship venue.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He's an artist, and so is Eric Larson. Check him out at larsongolf.net. Appreciate some of the background and a look at this year's Open Championship. It should be a fun weekend, and I think your score is about right, especially if that weather picks up. Eric Larson, we'll talk to you down the road. Thanks, and have a good weekend.
Good talking to you, pal. Thank you, Brent.
All right, that is Eric Larson. Once again, larsongolf.net. Fantastic history around the Open Championship, and it is really cool that something can last the test of time. That's why we like Wrigley Field and Fenway Park and stadiums like that that have so much history but can still stand the test of time and be played on today in various sports. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. Quick baseball thought, actually, because I heard it in the update. The Yankees are sliding, like really bad. The Angels are going to be interesting because it was a huge week if they want to keep Ohtani. Kasey, this is your guy. Ohtani, does he go at the trade deadline, or does he stay with the Angels and they just max whatever they can out of him, even if they can't get a deal done?
They'd be stupid not to trade him.
Even with, like, there's, three back or something like that?
Yeah,
now?
no, they'd be stupid not to trade him. Best player in the history of the sport. You get back everything. Your team, they are not good. They are not good at baseball. I don't care what the standings say. They're not good. They have two good players. Two of the best to ever play. You maximize both of those and totally recoup your farm system.
But how do you justify trading a no doubt about it, guaranteed, amazing best player in baseball?
Because he's not coming back.
For farm talent is what I'm saying. Like, I would get it if you go to a team with good young talent that is either – like high AAA has been in the majors and is coming back, or young guys already in the majors. But we were just talking about this Kelenic deal between the Mariners and the Mets from a couple of years ago.
Right.
Like, you can't guarantee anyone you're getting back for Ohtani is going to be any good. In baseball, at least.
Yeah, but in 2 months, he's going to leave for free.
Yeah, I mean, trade him. or try and re-sign him.
He's not coming back. So I
mean,
mean,
not getting value if you're trading for all these high-profile minor leaguers.
You're probably getting AAA prospects. You're getting a lot of everything. In fairness,
yeah.
So
no matter who you trade with.
But if you're the Angels, you don't really want major league players this year. Lose out the rest of the way, get the highest draft pick you can, and then go from there. So I would be looking at multiple AAA players.
If they trade Ohtani, guys, do they break the whole thing down? Is Trout gone too? Like, how's that work?
There's no point to keep Trout if you get rid of Ohtani.
Yeah, the only question I have, Kasey, that crossed my mind yesterday is first of all, you don't want to give up on the idea that you could get him. Like, that shows – obviously, you got to know, and there's a measure of that. And you've talked to his people, and you kind of know probably what he's thinking or have a gut feel. And most people do feel that he's going to walk and go into free agency. But the value of this guy that he brings to your franchise, is it actually worth a few more months? Like, it's that good. Yeah. Like, it's that good. I understand. Most of the time you can say that, right? Hey, this guy's going to give us value to the team. Ohtani's on a different planet when it comes to that right now. Yep. Like, everybody wants to watch him. And if everybody's watching him, they're watching the Angels. Like, that's good for business, good for your organization. And I almost wonder, is that 2 months or 3 months better than the players you might get back?
I'm with you on that one.
I'm not. Like, you might – if you keep them, you're not going to win for 20 years. If you trade them, you might win in the next 10. Like, they are bad. Their farm system's bad. Their major leaguers are bad. They are not good. Like, 2 months of jersey sales versus being an awful organization for the next 20 years, that's tough.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't – the long play is the better play. But I do think you have to factor in a couple of things. First of all, his popularity right now, like, off the charts, crazy. Like, it'd be like – Florida trading Tebow back in 2008
they
or 9.
They should be able to trade college players.
I mean, you kind of can.
They kind of do.
Without college involved, yeah.
But to Aaron's point, you don't know if you're getting anything good in return. You think you are, but you don't know. And are they going to get as much as everybody thinks, Kasey? Because how many real suitors are there for Ohtani at the deadline?
Oh, plenty. It's up to Ohtani. There's plenty of teams that are in. Like, there's so many teams that are in.
I think there are 5 serious ones,
No.
though.
See, that's what you're missing.
There are teams that want in that are, like, he's not – I don't think he's going to consider the Chicago Cubs.
Right. That's why it's up to him. If he's like, hey, I'm good to go play baseball and I want to win, that opens the Orioles, that opens the Rays, that opens Cleveland, it opens all of these – Seattle, all of these random teams that aren't the Mets, the Philly, like those big-time teams. So it's really up to him. The Marlins become open at that point.
What is the status of his, like, how much say will he have in this? I know you say it's up to him.
It sounds like all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's either the Angels are, doing what they're doing. I don't believe for 1 second that the Angels are seriously considering sitting on him and not trading him if he is it. Like, if he's interested and wants to be traded, I think he'll be gone tomorrow.
Can I give you an example of what we're talking about? Not that you guys need the example, but I look back to some of the biggest trades in MLB over the last couple of years. I didn't take last year because if you're talking about prospects, you probably need more time for those guys to develop. 2020 was a COVID year. I went back to 2019. One of the biggest deals that happened in 2019 is at the top of the list was Zach Greinke. He got traded for cash and players from the Diamondbacks. The Astros picked him up. And what they got in return was Seth Beer, who this year is hitting
Arizona
249. They got Corbin Martin, who's a pitcher, who this year has a negative WAR, or his career has a negative WAR. And they got Bukowskis and Rojas. Like, none of those is the value of what Greinke was in that moment or was the year after. But, like, these trades go down all the time. I'm with Brent. Like, you may get more just by holding them for a month or a couple of months.
So you're saying one bad trade for one good player with prospects means they're all not going to work?
I'm telling you, if I looked at the Shane Green or the Castellanos trade, any of these trades, you're going to find similar things. It's so rare that these guys end up developing from these trades. And even so, you're waiting like 3 or 4 years. I get building the farm system, especially if it's been depleted.
Yeah, you do have to do that. Like, that's important.
I understand that. But, like, when you're talking about Ohtani, this isn't just a normal trade. This isn't trading Noah Syndergaard or something like that. This is, the biggest and best.
Nobody wins anymore without building the farm. This guy just feels a little bit different. Like, the value of him is so insane right now, which is pretty wild to see. Speaking of the Yankees, just real quick, is it is it Cashman the GM's fault or Boone? Like, who do you guys think is more the problem in New York?
Both.
I mean, I think they're probably going to sweep them all out, I would imagine. I don't know how they survived this.
I thought we did this Cashman thing already and landed on he's just too good friends with the Steinbrenners at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. Kasey, who do you have a bigger problem with, though? I know you say both, but, like, who?
Cashman.
Isn't the hitting the problem, though?
Yeah, well, when you got me players that are from, like, they were good when you guys were kids, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
I
kind of feel like Cashman, too.
You've got young guys you've got a ton of prospects you're just waiting to call up. You can't find at bats for your young players. It's like because you're playing Josh Donaldson. He's trash. Move on.
Like, that's the thing, man. Like, they kept on Josh Donaldson, and I'll even say Rizzo. When they re-signed Rizzo, I'm like, what are they doing?
I think everybody said that.
Well, but he got off to a decent start. Now he hasn't hit a home run since May.
Yeah, take him out.
But before the decent start, it had been a long time before he was productive, hadn't it?
No, last year he was good when he came over. Like, he was good for them. But it was like, I couldn't get them re-signing him. And that was just one move. I mean, they're really bad. They're just not good. And here's the other thing. They couldn't win on the Judge thing. But history said you shouldn't have re-signed him. He was going to get hurt again.
Yep.
But they had to sign him. Like, they had to. I get it from a business standpoint. But it was a tough spot to be in because he's only stayed healthy 1 year. He's too big to stay healthy for 162. Ain't happening. Lane Kiffin with some fire quotes today. Be back, Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hazy sunshine, hot and humid today. The high near 100 degrees. Feel like temperatures near or a little bit above 105. Dropping to the mid to upper 70s tonight and a hot Friday into partly sunny skies. Highs in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Save up to 40% now during the Christmas and July sale at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey, Jacksonville, we need your help. It may be summer, but school is just around the corner. Hundreds of local homeless, at-risk, and low-income students need school supplies. One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is collecting school supplies through July 30th, so our most vulnerable kids can start the school year right. Be a good person and help us fill 350 backpacks this summer. Bring donations to your nearest One-to-One Financial branch. Learn more and find the closest branch at one-to-one-fcu.org. And don't forget, the school supply tax holiday is the last week of July. Thanks, Jacksonville.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more! October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
Koala insulation.
Hey,
this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Smoothie King is a family thing from my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife, Steph, gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter, Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls, too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new extreme watermelon lemonade. Extreme watermelon smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Here's your quote for a new AC system. And if you sign this 10-page contract in the next 3 seconds, we can install it day after tomorrow.
Wait a second, something's strange. You're my third quote, and it's exactly the same system and terms as the first two. How can that be?
Well, corporate doesn't want me to tell you this, but we're all owned by the same corporation. Less profit when you earn trust over time. Better to buy established AC companies. That way the customers have no other options. Corporate says benefits. Yeah, that's it.
I have another option. I'm calling Hammond.
For generations, Hammond continues to be the most recommended AC company by your neighbors. Make the switch to Hammond Air Conditioning instead of an out-of-town corporate AC company, so you aren't forced into higher prices, fewer options, and worse service. Summer's a perfect time to call him. They are experts on how an AC system can lower your electric bills and get you great rebates at the same time. Go to HammondAir.com.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I made this weekend, fellas. I'm going to tell you. I was driving up here
at 115 miles an hour.
That's right. A little slightly below Jordan Addison.
Yikes.
And so we're about coming to the exit that we're getting off.
All right.
And I start to see these spray painted, like these white, almost cardboard or whatever signs with spray painted, like it would say peaches. And then like 200 yards later, it would say peach bread. And then a couple hundred yards later, peach donuts.
Okay.
That sounds good.
And peach butter. And
right.
peach salsa.
Sure.
And I was like, Kaylee was with me, and I said,
makes me laugh you guys never travel together all as a family, but go on.
Well, we had to take 2 cars. She just went to a different tournament. So anyway, we're like, this advertising's awesome. because like I'm locked in.
Now you need to know the ending.
So now I got to go.
Where are we going to end up?
And so anyway, she's
This
like,
advertising's awesome.
yeah, she's like, this is, she's like, yeah, we got to go. Like, I know I want to go. She's excited about it.
It's just peaches.
And, well, we're in Georgia, man. And so I said, so where did they say it was? Like the final one or something? I must have missed it. She's like, it's at the Exxon gas station.
Of course it is.
So I'm like, we're going.
Everybody knows the best peaches in Georgia are at the Exxon.
How was it?
We go, and it's it's like one of those pop-up tents, and no, it was good, like really good. Like the stuff's in, it's jarred, like the peanut. It's like you would go to.
Could you imagine going into the
slices of,
or like you go to the peach store, they got like a fistful of jelly, they just slop it into your hand and be like, "Have a good day."
It's nice. Like if I wasn't at the Exxon, you wouldn't think I went to. You'd think I went to like a Whole Foods or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like reasonable. I don't know what the peaches were, but $10 or something. And
that doesn't sound reasonable at all.
$8 for like peach donuts, and I buy everything peaches.
I will say, Case,
it's been great. It was a great stop, fellas.
I have a hankering
really good.
for a good juicy peach. Case, if you don't mind running out to the Exxon, get me some peaches and puppies. We'll finish the show up.
You ever have peach salsa? It's really good.
Good peach is awesome, especially good peach product. Although peach bread sounds weird. I don't know how I touch that.
So we got I didn't get peach bread. I got peach donuts.
I can go with that.
You know, anything to beef up Ty.
Is it peach? Is it peach filling or like pieces of peach?
No, it's like it's almost like what's like the normal, like the traditional
jelly donut?
No, like what do they have at Dunkin' Donuts?
Glazed
like
donut?
Old fashioned, right?
Old fashioned. Okay.
So it looks like an old fashioned, but it's got some
chunks
flavoring in it.
Okay.
So but it's good. It's good. So anyway, that was like a great stop for us. And so here's the deal. We get to the place, and I see Steph, and like, where'd you guys go? She's like, we stopped at the peach place. She's like, oh, I wanted to, too. Like, I kept seeing the signs.
You guys are perfect for each other.
So we did a good thing for the fam.
Nice.
Like, I think we won.
Nice.
Hey, let's get to the phone line. South Beach Gary, he's winning because the Baltimore Orioles are in first place.
Who?
I got to believe that's why he's calling us.
Oh, you know it. First place, Baltimore Orioles, Brent.
That's amazing, really. Like, I mean, it's amazing they're in first place. I can't believe it. Hey, give Kasey hell, by the way. His Rays are losing a grip on the AL East.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey knows what team's rising and what team's falling. He's watching. But, hey, guys, how good would the Orioles be if they had Shohei Ohtani? They're one of the few farm teams that can do it. They're deep in the farm system.
Gary, Shohei Ohtani won't even connect a flight in Baltimore, much less play for the team. Dreams are over.
What are you talking about? We got the second best record in baseball.
Shohei Ohtani's not going to Baltimore. Stop the nonsense.
You got to believe. Why not?
Actually, you know what? They are a rising team. They're only going to get better, it seems like, and that would be fascinating.
And Brent, they got the number one prospect in all baseball in Jackson Holiday, Matt Holiday's son.
I know it, and he's done well too. So, yeah, South Beach Gary, it's a good. Listen, there are a lot of O's fans that I know in the Jacksonville area. It's very weird, but they should be happy because it's been a miserable existence for the O's for like a decade.
And to think, Brent, they did it without their number one prospect, Rachel Rodriguez, who got sent down most of the year.
Yeah, well, they've had a lot of number one prospects over the years, so they've got plenty in the backup bin.
The last year they brought up Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Westberg, and Kauser out of their system.
Well, and hey, don't forget
all under 25, Brent.
Yeah, and Austin Hayes is playing great for him out of Jacksonville University, so that's helpful.
Austin Hayes, the local product.
Yeah, I know. You're getting excited, man.
Fired up! Fired up!
Thanks, South Beach Gary. Great to hear from you again. Kasey, if they got Shohei Ohtani, could they win the World Series?
Maybe. They're actually pretty good.
Oh, man. Orioles fans should be fired up, though. It's kind of a cool story.
Sounds like they are.
I love when South Beach Gary can bring Aaron to tears.
He's off the rails, man.
Let's see if Steven can do the same thing
let's
to
go,
us as we
Stevie.
shift back to football. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I work outside all day. I'm swimming in my own sweat. Hot as hell.
Sounds great.
Sounds like a fun day.
No, but anyways, I wanted to get your thoughts. They're doing all these ratings, but, statistically, Tyson Campbell was a top 10 corner last year. Now he's not really getting any love except for a couple votes for the top 10. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks late in the season stayed away from him. He shut down CeeDee Lamb when he finally moved Trey out of the way, saying, hey, I got him. And Pat Mahomes stayed away from him. This year, could you see him getting a Pro Bowl season if going against receivers like Stephon Diggs this year, or Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk? He's got some good challenges this year. If he takes that next step, could you see him possibly having a Pro Bowl year the way he's progressed ever since coming here?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Listen, we all believe in Tyson Campbell to do that. I think that's the next thing. I don't know what it exactly looks like, but I think you just gave us plenty of examples that he is going to have chances to shut down players. The one moment that sticks out to me, and this is it's not a negative moment. To me, it's a maturation moment. But he really didn't play well against Devontae Adams in that first half. Elite player, and didn't do so great. I think it was, what did he have, like 9 or 10 catches in the first half?
It was
he was eating, boy. Tell you what.
Devontae Adams, second best receiver in the entire league.
They were force-feeding him.
Yeah, but if you're going to be where people want him to be from a respect standpoint everywhere else, you've got to be able to, if not shut those guys down, have really good days against those guys.
You got to be able to impact them.
Right? Yeah. I always say this, if you want to see what it looks like, go watch the Hopkins-Ramsey battles. Ramsey, as elite as he is, he didn't always shut Hopkins down. But it was like a give and take, and it wasn't like he was going to have a day against him, right? Because that guy's talented too. And so, again, Tyson Campbell's going to have his opportunities this year to do that. But I think what happened in that second half is I really thought he grew up a lot. And now some of that might have been Derek Carr and even the Raiders' play calling and everything else. And, heck, I thought they should have run the ball more with Josh Jacobs in that game, if you remember. But Tyson did a much better job and a very good job in that second half. And I want to say, guys, that I think he was excellent after that game. Like, it was almost like this flip and this turn. Not that he was poor before it, but I think almost after that Raiders game, that's when those things started to happen, where even a Mahomes or others would stay away from him because, like, hey, we're going to try to target this guy or that guy. I think you do have to have that other player, too, that they're not afraid, or they are a bit afraid to go at. Like Darius Williams, you're not going to pick on Darius Williams, I don't believe. So you'll throw Tyson Campbell's side this year and at least challenge him and give him opportunities. The one thing I did like about Campbell is he started to get his hands on the football a lot more toward the end of the year. It seemed like every Jags player did. But that will be another tick up if he can continue to do that in terms of respect, in terms of where he's at. And I think Steven mentions a good point. Sooner or later, if you want to be considered amongst the best, you have to make a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, one of those things. Like, you have to do that. You have to get the accolades to then be considered in lists like this and before the season starts that you're one of the best guys.
Yeah, you got to earn it, I guess, in that sense.
I think there is a solid point that once you get in, though, you're kind of in. I think we've talked about that at other positions. Like, you get the benefit of the doubt once you're a Pro Bowl and other. What, you disagree?
No, I think it happens. I think it's situational, though. Like, I don't know that happens for a player in Jacksonville.
Happened for Jalen.
That's true.
Now, granted, Jalen was great,
yeah.
But like, I think the hardest thing. Even
I do
if it's
agree
not,
that it happens, though. Guys are making this game when they're not earning it just because they've got the name.
Even if it's not like every year type stuff, once you're in, you're kind of in that conversation, I think. And I think when you do go against the guys that they will play this year, it certainly helps.
I think you're right on the money there, and I think a lot of that comes with winning, guys. If you win and you're in the spotlight and you're playing on Sundays and Mondays that the Jags will now do this year, those are the games where you can really go off and have a day. And that's where you gain a lot of recognition. Like, you can make a Pro Bowl, I believe, as a maybe disrespected player, say Tyson Campbell is around the National Football League. He can make a Pro Bowl with one awesome outing on a Sunday night game in front of everybody. And maybe that's what he needs to do, along with playing solid the rest of the way, or very good the rest of the way. Brent and Friends rolls on right after this. We will get to Lane Kiffin and his thoughts on college football. Quick take or two from SEC Media Days, because Lane keeping it real on the state of college football right now. Do you agree? We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet.
Now open in St. Augustine.
Jasmine is Northeast Florida's only LGBTQ+ youth center, offering health and mental health programs, housing supports, and teen and family initiatives. Jasmine is the safe place our LGBTQ+ young people need right now. Partner to support our effort. Visit jasmine.org today.
Jay is a foodie and a chef.
I'm a food truck owner with dreams of something bigger.
And at Community First, we get that. And we get you. We were founded over 88 years ago to help members live their best lives by providing the financial services they need. Today, that includes digital banking, great rates, and local decision-making.
So just be yourself.
At Community First and on the go. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
We're in the middle of summer. Be ready for anything, on the road or off the road, at Nimnick Buick GMC. No one will ever pay over MSRP at Nimnick Buick GMC, the place where my family has purchased 6 vehicles since we've been in Jacksonville. Go to Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Are you looking for a used car under $18,000, maybe one for the kids? Nimnick has a great selection, over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211. Smoothie King is a family thing from my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife Steph gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new Extreme Watermelon Lemonade. Extreme Watermelon Smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-587-5063. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-587-5063 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-587-5063 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-587-5063.
I love having AC, and I love breathing clean air. Call Zero Res to schedule your air duct cleaning. Mention WOKV, and we'll give you $50 off both the cleaning and any other air duct related services.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Hot
hot. Can you believe this weather out there? Hi, this is Stan Nagel for Energy Seal Foam Insulation, reminding you that you're burning up. Do something about it. Spray foaming your attic with Energy Seal really works.
Call 888-306-3626 for 20% summer savings. EnergySealJax.com.
Mike Lester, you are the founder of Talon Wealth, but you were not born with a subscription to the Wall Street Journal and a calculator in your hand. So what was your first job as a teenager?
Mowed yards. Of course, I couldn't drive. I was probably 12, 13. I had a skateboard. I could basically get everything on that lawnmower and drag myself on the skateboard to whatever lawn I had to mow.
Get to know Mike and the other Talon Wealth fiduciaries at guardingyournestegg.com.
Hey, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Lane Kiffin making some noise at SEC Media Days on the state of college football. And before we get to his reaction about it, and this, of course, has to do with NIL and transfer portal, the COVID year is about to flush its way out of the system.
Fine.
So that won't be part of it. And do you guys think college football's in a bad spot? Like, if you were going to be hired as the commissioner of college football, would you have a lot of work to do?
I do think you have work to do. I wouldn't say it's in a bad spot, though. It's just it's transitioning.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in a bad spot, but it's also not really a job that I want, to be honest. Like, I know it pays a lot, but like
it does pay a lot.
There's a
now.
lot of things that do need to be kind of
good.
straightened out.
It's interesting because it feels like there's more money in the game than ever before, which in any business would seem like a good thing, but obviously comes with downfalls. But like ratings are crazy good, TV deals are nuts, fan interest isn't going anywhere, and yet it's almost like we have these systemic problems that did exist and now exist in a different way with NIL and transfer portal. Let's hear from Lane Kiffin at SEC Media Days. He thinks it's in an awful place.
Just like when everybody was like, oh, we got this NIL, it's great. And then, in this portal, it's great. Oh, whoa. And I'm not saying I was the only one saying it. I'm like, whoa, this is a disaster coming because you just legalized cheating. And you just told donors they can pay the players. That's what you did. And then, it's supposed to be set up, well, it's really for your name, image, likeness, for your marketing. Again, that's not what happened. That's not what's happening. They're getting paid to go to school, so it's paid for play.
And that is what has transpired. I think if you talk to people in college athletics about, they'll give you examples of NIL where it's like, that's the way it's supposed to be used, right? That's making a few extra bucks to endorse something, to use your name, image, likeness. But this has certainly flipped into the danger zone of where people thought it could go, where you are just paying people. We are seeing it big time in the sport of baseball this past spring. I think we have already seen it in football and basketball. But this past spring, it was very obvious when you have teams that are number one in the country going to the College World Series and losing some of their best players to another powerhouse. Well, what's happening there? They certainly aren't dissatisfied with the program. You're getting what you want. You're one of the best teams in the country. You're high-profiled. You are going to Omaha, have a chance to win a national title. Like all these things, most situationally, maybe there's something behind the scenes that's not good. But you wouldn't see this many people move unless the cash was good.
Mm-hmm.
And the cash is just really good.
As it should be.
What's worse, NIL in terms of what's worse? Bigger problem, NIL or transfer portal?
I don't think either are a problem.
Yeah. I ain't got no beef, Brent, with either.
Really?
Not a ton of beef. Maybe a little beef. Maybe like a small sandwich.
Now, listen, I have always been we've had Matthew Driscoll in before, and we've talked a lot about this too. And what I have slid on this. I was a big advocate for the student athlete. I thought they had no power. I thought all the power was with the big time coaches, and I thought they were really taking advantage of young men and women to force them into decisions. Also, not really telling them the whole truth, and they held all the power. And so that's why I wanted to see more power go to the student athlete. And they created that, and I still stand by that. But I just, this everything going at once, the NIL, the COVID year, and the transfer portal has really just made this seismic shift. And part of the problem is we really don't know where it's landing. Like, we're still in the middle of it. So we don't know how bad it could be, good it could be, whatever it could be. Losing the COVID year, I think, will help. The older players will be flushed out of the system a little bit. I kind of believe the transfer portal is the bigger issue, but
Why?
I'm almost wondering if they're hand in hand.
Why do you think the transfer portal is an issue?
Because I think you can't plan on anything. So, like, if you're building something, if we're doing this, we're building this show, and we could walk across the street. This is why, like, non-competes happened, right, in our industry, in other industries. And we could walk across the street in a month and just go do our thing. And then somebody else would come in another month. And then, like, how do we plan a show? Like, how do we build something?
The same way we do it now. Like, I don't see a difference. Just because the opportunity to leave is there doesn't mean you can't plan. Now, granted, the company, a.k.a. school, a.k.a. corporation, is more concerned about stability. But nothing changes. If you treat your people well and you pay them right, they're still going to be there.
Yeah, but not at like you can't pay them right at UNF and JU is my point.
Okay.
You know, like, so it's not an equal playing ground.
It doesn't have to be. I don't understand why. Like, I heard Kiffin's statements, and I get the essence of what he's saying, but why? Why do we need parity in college sports? I don't get it.
Okay, well, that's a different animal. Like, if you don't want a level playing field.
We don't need it. It doesn't matter.
Why not? Like, isn't that what we love about the NFL, that 7 different teams go into the playoffs every year?
I enjoy it, yeah. But it's not a necessity of the sport. Like, the reality is you have how many teams in college football? Parity is an imaginary thing.
Yeah, but I'm not even thinking people want 128 teams to be good. Can you get, like, 25 to be good? There's a big difference between the top, like, 8 and everybody else.
You're not wrong. But that's how it is in major sports, too. I mean, you look at baseball.
Well, that's the problem with baseball, though, don't you think? I don't think that's been a thing that's why we love this year all of a sudden. The Orioles and the Reds are pretty good.
Do I prefer parity? Yeah. You're never going to hear me say you shouldn't pay the guys for what they're doing. These teams that nickel and dime professional athletes versus other markets, it's disgusting. What the Mets were doing for decades was gross. What the Marlins do year in and year out is gross. What the A's did to their fan base is disgusting. People need to be held accountable, and they don't. They just threaten to move or keep putting out a bad product. Meanwhile, the players get screwed. These college kids have been essentially indentured servitude forever. And then everyone's like, oh, they get an education out of the thing. What do they need the education for? They're not going to school for engineering. They're going to school and majoring in athletics.
Okay, but the domino effect there is not everybody's doing that. The people you're seeing on TV on Saturday nights in the college football playoff, many of them are doing what you just said. But there's a lot of these folks that aren't going to the NFL or going to Major League Baseball. Or
Yeah,
going
so they don't need
else.
to win a national championship. They need to go to college, and playing football is just a fun thing.
I guess.
You stumped him, bro. You stumped him.
Well, it's just the reality.
Well, there's a difference, though. What you stumped me because I want to say there's a difference between the professional and amateurism part of it. And also,
can I ask you what makes it amateur to you? Because I hear people call college sports amateur a lot.
Well, I don't believe – I think that's one of the things we've lost in part.
Even before you paid them, though.
Well, yeah, we lost it because it became big business.
Yeah.
Again, we would not be in this place if the SEC wasn't writing a check for $40 million to every school and a quarter of that money was going to the head coach.
Yep.
Like, we wouldn't. Like, we would not. If the money didn't get so absurd, you wouldn't have had players that said, I need a piece of the pie. And that's how we got here. But the domino effect of that, again, Alabama, LSU, they're going to be fine. Florida, I think maybe they'll be fine. But, like, Wake Forest ain't ever going to be fine in this. I don't think. Like, Wake Forest doesn't seem like they're playing that game. And then the domino effect at every other level is they're stealing your players, basically.
When was the last time you remember Wake Forest in the national championship?
Yeah, but wouldn't you like to see it?
Not really. I mean, again, I'm not the biggest college football fan, but no. I don't need it. And I don't need it. And like,
so you're saying you don't need the Baltimore Orioles in it?
Well,
or
you're
the Pittsburgh
right.
Pirates
It's top heavy, right? But I'm saying for college sports specifically, you don't need every team on the same level. Like, if you're talking about a league with 30 some odd teams, then I could see the point a little more clearly. But like, no, I don't need UCF on the same level as UF.
The problem is you can't even enjoy UCF. Well, UCF's different. They're going to the Big 12 now. But you can't enjoy the old UCF because anytime they would have a good player now, Alabama's going to go get them and just pay them and take them away from you.
It's definitely a bummer for the fans of that school.
Yeah. And that's what I mean from a planning standpoint. And then, by the way, the domino effect, I see it right here front and center, is at the high school level. There's less opportunities. Now, maybe that makes for a better landscape at the end of the day. We'll find out. I think it's still early. But it's definitely a different game. And when you have a major college coach and it's a disaster and he has the ability to use those rules to his advantage, I think that's pretty eye-popping.
But also, you got to at least give the other side. You got teams like, who is it, A&M, or a few of these teams who are like at the top of the spending list. Miami's another great one. Second biggest spenders, NIL. What did they do last year?
Yeah, and then not getting the results. All right, Football at 5 coming up next. Way late. Sorry, Kasey.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports NFL owners unanimously approved the $6 billion sale of the Washington Commanders from Daniel Snyder to a group led by Josh Harris. When the new season kicks off, the Kansas City Chiefs will hang a banner and host the Lions in the opener. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco says he will absolutely be ready to start the season at full strength. SEC Football Media Day is wrapping up today. Jordan Rogers of the SEC Network says some folks aren't taking Alabama seriously because of the quarterback situation.
This competition is real at Alabama. I do believe it's a two-man race between Ty Simpson and Tyler Buchner. I think Jalen Milroe is an unbelievable athlete. I think that they realize this offense with the talent around the quarterback, that position just needs to be a point guard.
Jordan Rogers. Baseball finals today. The Blue Jays shut out the Padres 4-0. Alejandro Kirk with a two-run homer. Tigers beat the Royals 3-0. 7 scoreless for Michael Lorenzen, and he allowed just 3 hits. The White Sox beat the Mets 6-2.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial ** invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Why let a plumbing company tear up your property to repair or replace your old cast iron pipes when Superior Plumbing and Pipelining's no-dig trenchless service can reline them in just one day? Request an estimate now at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more! October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones.
To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Football at 5 we go here on a Thursday. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. We are now a day away from quarterbacks and rookies reporting. By the way,
wow,
that's a big number. Jags had 13 draft picks.
It's half the team.
And then Tuesday, everybody else will report. And Wednesday, we're off and running for the football season 2023. We'll get some tweets here in a moment. One thought on the Washington Commanders. I'm not sure if they're in the tweets or not. Bigger winner today. The Washington Commanders, or I don't know if you want to put like the NFL, or Snyder, who walks away with $6 billion.
I'm finding a hard time finding a loser in this equation. The NFL gets rid of a problematic owner. The franchise gets rid of a problematic owner, gets a new group, a little infusion of excitement in there. The new group gets a football team. Snyder gets billions. Largest sale ever. Like, who loses?
Yeah, that's probably a good way to do it. I don't know if
whoever has to sit next to the bucket in the press box.
Yes, can you please spend? They're out of money probably now. How are they going to fix
this
that?
one thing? So I don't have to sit next to the bucket again.
They do need to fix that sometime soon. Commanders could be sneaky good.
Yeah,
Okay.
led by that defense. Yeah.
No, they could. Like, what? You don't think Sam Howell has a chance to be any good?
No.
Listen, I am the all-pro on the bum quarterback list, leading the way of the fan club.
You don't know if he's a bum
Brock
yet.
Purdy.
I got a feeling, Brent. Tonight's going to be a good night.
Oh, little song reference. Brent, what song?
Come on, Brent.
I got a feeling.
He's got this. Okay, who sang it?
Come on, Brent. Come on, Brent.
He's got this.
You've got this, Brent.
Come on, Brent.
It's not like it's not Black Eyed Peas.
Oh! Nice.
Yeah! How about that? That's a big win right here. I was like,
Wow.
is that it? I was like, I think that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Way to go, man.
This man is Fergalicious right now. Holy cow.
Heck of a moment right here on the show. Hope you all enjoyed it. Brent Friends on
Here's the
ESPN
Gatorade.
690.
Wow.
give me a different bucket, not the trash bucket.
Man.
In the Washington.
Baby
press box.
Brent.
Hey, proud of that moment right now. I got to collect myself. Hold on.
Made up for the
take a
Stone
deep
Temple 21 pilot situation.
I forgot about that.
Running backs for the Jags.
Yeah.
They are loaded in the running back room.
Big room.
It's a pretty good stable of backs the Jags have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the boys are good.
You like it? I mean, what's there not to like about it?
Well,
I like them boys.
I think you've got a great back in ETN. You kind of know the entity of what that is. You've seen it in a game. Like, you don't know what Tank Bigsby's going to be. You think you know.
But I got a feeling.
You do have a feeling. And if he is what you think he is tonight, it's going to be a real good night. But you got to see it play out first.
Yeah, I get it, but I guess if Tank Bigsby doesn't deliver on what a lot of fans are really high on him, but if he doesn't, well, I mean, they've got like Jermichael Hasty, Dearness Johnson, and they do have Travis Etienne. You know, my concern about the running back room a little bit is they have too many guys. Like, they'll almost outsmart themselves. Like, honestly, I want the ball in Etienne's hands. I don't really care if I see the other guys that much. I understand you got to sprinkle them in. You got to rest Etienne a little bit. But that's one of the most dangerous players the Jags have on the field. And that's maybe a little bit why I haven't been as in love with the Bigsby third-round pick, where they got him, and the investment in it, as maybe some others. Because I want to see the evolution of Etienne. I want to see him in the pass game more. I want him on the field. I want the ball to be given to him if it's going to be given to a back. Like, that's not only just your number one option, that's your best option by, like, far.
That's your 3-down option that you're talking about. So let me ask you this. Last year for the season, he averaged almost 13 carries a game, 12.9. But, James Robinson, while he was here, averaged 11.6. So obviously those carries went up. I think towards the end of the year, we were seeing roughly 20 carries a game. Where would you like to see Etienne on a per-game basis? Or maybe is it a percentage of snaps rather than a number of carries?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably work better with carries, and people can understand that a little bit more. What we're talking about, usually I have like 60 plays in a game, somewhere around there. I don't know what the actual average is, but it feels like between 55 and 65 most of the time. And if that's the case, don't you feel like Trevor's going to throw it like 35 times?
Yeah, 25 to 35 times.
And Trevor might take off a couple of times too, so you get like 2 or 3 other plays. So, I mean, that's leaving somewhere between, I don't know, a 20 and 27, carries in a game. And I'm okay with the other guys getting a few here or there. I would say I want between 15 and 20 for Etienne. I want him to touch the ball between 15 and 20 times.
22, no less.
Under 15, you're not using him well enough. Like, I need the ball to him more often, I think.
He did not get a ton of looks receiving last year, at least to the amount that I expected him to.
I agree with you.
Only targeted 45 times, but he made hay with those 45 targets, 35 receptions, 316 yards. Could have had a couple of touchdowns, too.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. I mean, the two surprises of last year for me that he wasn't involved in the passing game more, and I'll always go back to that the Jags didn't use more tight ends in their passing game.
Yep.
But I kind of got the explanation for that one. And I will say this comes back to, hey, football, there's only one football, and the Jags do have a lot of options. So how many times do you really need to throw it to Etienne? I get it. The Jags are pretty effective in the passing game, and especially their short passing game, which is where you sometimes utilize that running back, right, as just a glorified run, the way the Patriots used it for years and years with Brady and the stable of backs that they had.
Yep.
So, but I do think the Jags have that. And here's the deal. I like Jermichael Hasty. Like, I like what I see from that guy. Like, I don't mind getting him the ball a few times a game. But I don't know about Dearness Johnson. I think the pick of Bigsby tells me more about Snoop Connor than we probably know. And now I think I want to at least see what Bigsby brings to the table. But I'm thinking Bigsby is a guy that touches the ball like maybe 3 times a game.
Ooh.
You think it's more than that?
You think it's more than that?
3 times? Yeah. He's getting at least 5 of them boys.
I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know what their plan is. Like, when they break it up, I'm not sure what their ideal look is. But if you're taking it away from Etienne, I don't think that's ideal.
23 and 7. That's what I see.
So you think you can get as many as 30 carries in a game? Like, you think – I mean, there will be some games like that. I agree with that. But
I think they run the ball like 30 times a game, yeah.
I think they run less than that. I think last year they were closer to 60-40 than 50-50, if I remember correctly.
They were. I think they ticked up toward the 60-40 spot. But – and again, the passing game on the short stuff is really effective. We've documented that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
why I'm saying, like, I think Etienne lost some of those targets in the flat to guys like Zay Jones and Jamal Agnew.
Yeah, or even Evan Ingram.
Or even
right?
Marvin Jones, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of them, the way they can utilize their different skill sets.
I didn't realize, I know we've looked at these numbers a bunch, but the targets were plentiful last year. I mean, there are targets to go around. He had 2 guys over 100, one guy just at 100 almost, and one guy at 81. That's a lot of targets for those 4 guys.
I threw it like 600 times. So
yeah.
Here's the deal. This may sound outlandish, But I already
For the
said I think the
second time
Jags
today.
are going to be the top 5 offensive
line unit
in the game this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Travis Etienne's season a year ago was one of the most underrated performances in the NFL.
I'm actually with you on this, especially for a rookie, essentially. And I know that he's not called a rookie because it was his second year. It wasn't. This is his first year.
Yeah, so I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league is what I'm getting at.
Like Bijan Robinson has this year that Travis Etienne had last year, and they're going to be talking about Bijan Robinson like he's the next thing. They already are, but like it's a great year from Etienne. It really was unsung. And I think a lot had to do with the fact that Trevor Lawrence's coming out party was last year.
I get it. I get that. I mean, there's only so much pub to go around, especially with a Jaguars team, right, from a national landscape. But Etienne was an unbelievable player in college, too. Like, he was a heralded guy.
Yep.
I was a little surprised he didn't get as much love as I thought he maybe should have gotten.
You think the fumbles cut into that, or is that was just a Jaguars
thing? So. Listen, I think there were a couple things. I think the fact that he did not start in the psyche of everybody across the country and even ours because James Robinson was the number 1 back. So that took a month to transition to him. Then you had the fumble stuff that started to get some of the headlines and take away from what he was doing from a productivity standpoint. There were a couple of games, I want to say it was like Indianapolis, where he just like left the game and never came back.
Yeah, it was kind of
And he wasn't injured.
Yep.
Which says, I think at one point it was like cramps or something like that. Like
yeah,
he's
you
gotta
wonder
do
if
better.
he was taking care of himself, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a curiosity and maybe even a concern in an NFL season. So there's a little bit of everything to it. But at the end of the day, like 1,500 yards, guys, and very important, dangerous, good, like easy to fall in love with. I'm not saying I'm in love with him, but like I'll go to bat for him. Like I think he's really good, really, really good. It was a great Urban Meyer pick, I believe.
Thanks, Urban.
Hey, thank you, Urban.
We should have like a button for that.
Here's the wild thing about that is like we give Urban credit, which like we have to, but he was openly like, I would have picked Kadarius Toney.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, you moron. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, I get. Well, hey, listen.
so great.
He said that, but at least that's a good plan B he had.
Plan B was better than Plan A, so good thing that
I know.
they got lucky.
Sometimes it works that way.
Better be lucky than good.
But anyway, so I'm excited to see the backs for the Jags and how they kind of, come into the whole equation for Doug Peterson. So Etienne had over 1,000 yards. That was Doug Peterson's first ever 1,000-yard running back. He hadn't had that as a coach in Philly. And
dang.
Again, you go back to he didn't have the A-list receiver. He's getting that with Ridley. Like, this is like, you talk about tools to work with for Peterson. The guy won a Super Bowl in Philly, and he's got stuff in Jacksonville now that he actually didn't even have. 1,000-yard back, Calvin Ridley, alpha number 1 receiver. And I would actually add, too, like, they are very Philadelphia built in their backfield. Like, they have a bunch of guys with different skill sets, much like the Eagles are. Now, the difference is, like, Jalen Hurts runs and Trevor doesn't run like that. Like, that's not the MO. But the Jags can do a lot with this offense, as we know. But I would say Doug Peterson can do a lot. It's going to be fun, but also intriguing to watch how they want to play this thing out. Like I think in the first month we'll have an idea of what they're doing with all these guys. And at the end of the day, I'll be surprised if Snoop Connor's a part of it, to be quite honest.
Same.
I just want to put in perspective for everybody the 1,500 yards from scrimmage, the 1,500-plus yards from scrimmage. A name like Alvin Kamara, big name, thought of as a versatile back pass catcher and runner. It's not like he was injured all year last year. He only missed 2 games. 1,300 yards from scrimmage. Tony Pollard thought of one of the best backs in the league last year. I mean, he was trying to get himself a big money deal this offseason. 1,300 yards from scrimmage, 1,378. Miles Sanders, 1,347. Najee Harris. I mean, these are names that are routinely mentioned above Travis Etienne.
You round numbers odd.
Why?
1,378, 1,300. What? It's 1,400.
It is 1,400. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry, Case.
I'm not
When you're
mad.
right, you're right.
You just do it all the
It
time.
seems like you're really mad about it. What I'm saying is ESPN put out a list. The same list we talked about with the quarterbacks the other day, Brent, the execs, the coaches, the scouts, they all ranked the NFL's top 10 running backs, also did honorable mentions and also receiving votes. ETN's on the list, but under honorable mentions. And then you got all these guys who gained less yards than he did above him. Kamara at 7. Dalvin Cook's up there. Tony Pollard's in the top 10. ETN, not in the top 10. But something that was wild about this list, Brent, that I said to Kasey before the show, and it really accentuates how devalued the position has become. Along with these rankings come what the lowest ranking was this year by an exec, coach, or player, scout, and then what last year's ranking was. In the top 10, you've got multiple guys who last year were either honorable mention or even unranked. You've also got multiple guys who this year, ranked in the top 10, also received unranked ratings. A guy like Alvin Kamara, ranked number 7, his lowest ranking was unranked completely.
Nobody has any clue.
Dalvin Cook, lowest ranking, unranked. Tony Pollard, unranked. Austin Eckler, lowest ranking, unranked. Josh Jacobs, last year's ranking was honorable mention. Dude had 2,000 all-purpose yards.
That's interesting. So
It's just all
beauty
over
in the eye of beholder a little bit.
It's all over the map. But ETN did make the list in honorable mentions coming under Aaron Jones, Damian Pierce, Breece Hall. Then comes Travis Etienne, finishing out that list with Ramondre Stevenson and Kenneth Walker III. Also receiving votes, Javonte Williams, who we talked about yesterday, Najee Harris, who we talked about yesterday, Miles Sanders, and A.J. Dillon.
Listen, I think Breece Hall's a good back, but Etienne should be higher than him.
He should.
Like, Etienne offers more to me. That's my point. Like,
well, Breece didn't have the opportunity to offer it. But, the point is, who cares? Like, Etienne did. So he should be ranked higher.
Yeah, again, Breece Hall's a nice back. Could the fumbles have really accounted that much against Etienne? I guess it's a possibility. One last thing on Etienne for me. You mentioned like 2,000 yards, Josh Jacobs. He would have got there if the Jags had just said, we're not going with James Robinson at all. We're going to trade him on Labor Day weekend, and we're going Etienne right off the rip. Like, he would have had it.
That's possible.
I think it's more than possible. Etienne for like a 5-week stretch, I think once they made the trade of Robinson, he was the best back, like the most productive back in the NFL for like a 5 or 6 week stretch.
Had a couple of those weeks, yeah. Also, Josh Jacobs ran the ball 340 times, ETN 220. So,
wow.
That's a big disparity. Derrick Henry, number 2 on this all-purpose yards list, by the way, 350 carries. Case, that was 349 for you, buddy.
Very good. Hey, there's a story out. Saquon Barkley says, I might miss the whole year. I've been in Saquon's camp here. Again, we go back and forth on this running back stuff. Been a highly controversial, if you will, or at least focused topic over the last 2 weeks. And we've even discussed it quite a bit. I think it's a fascinating discussion. And on Saquon's instance, more than Josh Jacobs or Pollard or anybody else, like, I get why he's mad. I think he should be mad. I think the Giants should have found a way to extend him. And it would have been one of those unique situations because I usually fall on the other side of this conversation. I also think missing a game or 2 or 3, point taken. Missing a year, not smart. Don't do that. Like, don't miss the year. Like, that might show you from a principle standpoint and, like, throw 2 birds at the Giants. But I don't think that's helping you out, Saquon.
I do think he's young enough where, while it feels similar to the Lev Bell situation, I think Barkley's built a little bit different, and he's young enough that he can recover and come back and still have a great career. You know, what's forgotten in that Lev Bell thing is the fact that he went to a Jets team coached by Adam Gase with nobody on the roster. And so he was going to be set up for failure from the beginning by joining the Jets, which was unfortunate. But I don't think the point is lost on me either. Like, sitting out a game or 2, you can display to the league, not just the Giants, how important you are, how important maybe the running back position has changed over the last couple of years. But when you have a Saquon Barkley, you don't have a running back. You have an offensive weapon. You have a versatile player who's going to gain positive yards in almost every situation you put him in. Almost every situation you put him in. And so he did. He went on this podcast and he said, those are the moves I've got left. If they don't sign me to a long-term deal, which ultimately they didn't, this was recorded before that Monday deadline that day. He goes, the only play I've got left is to sit out. I'm not buying he'd sit out for the season, Brent.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. There's nothing to win there for him because it's not like you can sign the extension at some point in October, right? So that, like, you lose the power. That might be the worst part of this whole timing of the franchise tag, the extension deadline, is really there's no play for the player. Like, if you sit out now, it doesn't turn it into an extension. Like, it doesn't put any pressure on the Giants.
No.
All you do is hurt the football team, which, again, that's your business. Like, I would probably want to do it, too.
I mean,
be like, screw you, Giants, right?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Anything I could do to make the team suffer.
Yeah, you want to make it worse for them, yeah.
But you've got to be careful, especially right now, because there's this big wave of emotion around the running back topic. Don't be like the martyr here, right? Don't be the guy that has to stand up for the whole position because there's nothing to win for you. Like, you need to play, put up a good number, leave New York on a mega deal somewhere else.
Look, I'll talk a little bit around this, and I apologize to the audience because I can't speak openly about it without getting myself in trouble. But I'm currently holding a grudge against someone in this building, Brent.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm doing so at a cost to me.
This is awesome.
This is costing me money holding that grudge. And I got to tell you, Brent, I've seen these opportunities to make money go by me, and I'm okay with it.
Wow.
So, like, I can relate to Saquon in this opportunity where it's like, yes, do I want to make as much money as possible? Yes. Should I follow everyone's advice and just earn while the earning's good? Yes. But also, it feels real good. It feels real good to be the challenge to an organization that's standing in your way sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, I love that too. Like, that does. I think you're right. I think that does feel good. I believe some of these running backs might even urge Saquon to do that. But I just don't know what he wins out of it other than your satisfaction that you're talking about.
That might be it. I mean, he may just be one of those stubborn grudge-holding people.
But if I told you could make, I don't even know, let's just say you could make 5 times what you're making if you don't hold the grudge.
5 times?
Right now, right?
Who's paying him that?
Well, what's he making right now?
He's making 10.
10. The
offer
tag
on
is 10.
Yeah, the offer on the table for him was like 12 or 13, and he's probably not getting that somewhere else.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, so he's already making 10. So well, first of all, if he doesn't sign, you're not going to make any.
That's true. Okay, so, all right, there it is. He'll make 0 if he misses games. You're not wrong.
So I knew there was some math in here that I was going to win on. But, yeah, like, if I told you, Aaron, you would give that up. You would say, okay.
It'd be tough.
Like, that would be tough to pass
It'd be
up.
tough. But, Case, you tell me, man, if you were Saquon Barkley and you were sitting out games and this playoff team then goes to like a 3-win team, I mean, what feels better than that?
It's satisfaction. What feels better than that is $10 million in my bank account.
I don't even know that
I don't know, Brent.
Yeah, that math doesn't matter.
You're talking to the toxic duo. We thought you were part of the toxic trio, but it sounds like you're more on the non-toxic side.
Well, he gets
right
a lot
now.
of checks. He's got a certain style of living he's accustomed to, Case. But me and you, we're willing to burn it all down.
Those same people that hit you up are hitting up Brent. He's like, yes, sir. What do I need to say?
Brent's like, I'll sign 2 of these franchise tags. Let's go.
I'm trying to give advice to Saquon, man. Get your money.
You're not wrong. It's the responsible, mature thing to do.
I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind giving up a couple like what? I'm assuming the franchise thing would be prorated if you missed games or signed.
It's like 700,000, I think,
per game.
Okay, so miss a couple, hurt the Giants.
I think that's what he's going to
make
do.
you feel better for a couple of games and camp. Obviously, heck, I ain't going to camp, but miss a couple of games. But then be ready and then show up.
The wildest
thing.
thing.
And then leave at the end of the year, and that's where you get your big win.
He's gone, yeah.
Right?
The wildest thing to me on this whole Saquon drama is, number one, they had a deal Saquon agreed to with the owner, went back and told his agent, hey, they got a deal, I'm going to take it. The agent didn't take it. Deadline passed. That's wild to me. Number 2 is that apparently it was only like $1 or $2 million in guaranteed money separating the guys. Like, that's what it's going to be for you now? You're gonna blow this roster up because Saquon is your offense over $1 or $2 million. We didn't believe that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's and then I saw a Josh Jacobs deal. They said was close. It was never really close, reportedly.
Right.
So it just depends who's talking, and egos get in the way, baby. Principle gets in the way.
Yeah, they do.
Saquon, make sure you get your money, man.
Sit
get
out, my
your
boy.
money.
We'll see you in 24, my G.
Brent and Friends.
We could pay Saquon in these tweets we didn't use today.
We're going to use them next.
Oh, dang.
On ESPN.
Sorry,
690.
Saquon.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Warm tonight under mostly clear skies, only dropping into the mid to upper 70s. A hot Friday under mostly to partly sunny skies. The afternoon high near 100. Feel like temperatures around 110. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Save up to 40% now during the Christmas and July sale at Beard's Diamonds.
Smoothie King is a family thing from my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife Steph gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new extreme watermelon lemonade. Extreme watermelon smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Here's your quote for a new AC system, and if you sign this 10-page contract in the next 3 seconds, we can install it day after tomorrow.
Wait a second, something's strange. You're my third quote, and it's exactly the same system and terms as the first two. How can that be?
Well, corporate doesn't want me to tell you this, but we're all owned by the same corporation. Less profit when you earn trust over time. Better to buy established AC companies. That way the customers have no other options. Corporate says benefits. Yeah, that's it.
I have another option. I'm calling Hammond.
For generations, Hammond continues to be the most recommended AC company by your neighbors. Make the switch to Hammond Air Conditioning instead of an out-of-town corporate AC company, so you aren't forced into higher prices, fewer options, and worse service. Summer's a perfect time to call Hammond. They are experts on how an AC system can lower your electric bills and get you great rebates at the same time. Go to HammondAir.com.
We're in the middle of summer. Be ready for anything, on the road or off the road, at Nimnick Buick GMC. No one will ever pay over MSRP at Nimnick Buick GMC, the place where my family has purchased 6 vehicles since we've been in Jacksonville. Go to Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Are you looking for a used car under $18,000, maybe one for the kids? Nimnick has a great selection, over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
O'Reilly. Does your vehicle have over 75,000 miles? Get maximum high mileage engine protection with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $34.99. Limits apply. Ask for Syntec High Mileage at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency on low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
All right, Kasey already offended Aaron by his rounding up comment.
Well, I mean,
thought they were going to get into a fight.
37 or whatever is not 30. It's 40.
Well, 37 is 30 when it's 0, when it's like, okay, fine.
Cool.
He's right.
He's right.
I'm not going to argue.
So I don't want to offend you and not get any tweets, so let's do that.
Oh, I got to get tweets now?
Absolutely.
I didn't collect
5
any
o'clock
today.
hour. Oh, none. You
I'm
certainly
kidding.
have a few hanging over.
Obviously, I'm joking. I brought like 15 with me. All right. Let's start with the only news that happened today, or one of the, well, I guess it's not because the Commanders just had a sale. But the early news from today, shocking and disappointing, certainly for Vikings fans and fans of Trojan alum, is the fact that Minnesota Vikings first-round selection rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison charged with reckless driving last night. Addison was doing 140 in his Lamborghini in a 55.
That is nice.
Guys, which is the more scary red flag? The fact that he would do this and put his life and others in danger, or the fact that he would do this and put his life and others in danger just months after Jalen Carter got in trouble for speeding, just a year and change after Ruggs ended up in jail, in prison? Like, what is going through this dude's head? And are you okay if you're the Vikings?
And why would you put a Lamborghini in danger like that?
That I could understand because he could buy 16 more of them.
Probably. I think this is probably. I thought of it. My head goes to the Ruggs situation, right? But I think from a Minnesota standpoint, they should have more of a problem from a decision-making standpoint. They don't have to loop the two together. The two instances are very different, in fact. But that's what came to mind because of the amount of speed and everything else. We just saw this. It's like, come on now. It's what I say about kids on social media, whatever else. Like, listen, there's a blueprint here now. We know what happens if you do stupid stuff or whatever. Guess what, Jordan Addison? Like, you probably knew that since you got your license, but you really know that as an NFL player based on the situation of these last couple of months. Like you said, Aaron, Jalen Carter even. So it's not like this hasn't been in the news. So to answer your question, I think I have more of a problem if I'm Minnesota with his decision-making rather than the tie to Ruggs, Kasey.
Case, do you think this is like an indicator that he's going to be a disaster as a pro?
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that yet. But I think that it's just a bad decision, and it's something that you got to learn from. And, I mean, the Vikings should be at least a little bit alarmed. But, again, these are young people that make dumb decisions. I've been there. Not there specifically. I can't go that fast in my car.
You weren't driving 140 in your Lambo?
Nope. I was going about 100 in my Chevy, though. And
it's the last time you drove that Chevy.
That's the last time that Chevy ever made it on the road. But the point of the story is, like, there's something to monitor here, but I don't think this is a huge problem yet. Definitely something to monitor, though.
I thought someone told me recently that the Lamborghini isn't cool anymore. So I'm surprised seeing the young guy getting a Lamborghini.
I feel like Lambo is like Rolex. It's like a timeless status symbol.
Tale as old as time.
Never going to be
uncool.
uncool.
It's Beauty and the Beast, baby.
It is Beauty and the Beast. Kasey, Joe Burrow getting a Lamborghini?
Probably not.
What?
Probably not.
What do you think he's getting?
Shiesty?
Getting the turtleneck mobile?
No, probably not that.
He's going to be driving.
Shiesty's probably a truck guy.
No, he's not.
Is.
There's
How much
no way.
Put on the board?
Like, maybe he's got a truck because he's got like 10 cars or something, but
truck guy, put on board.
This dude is totally like Bentley Phantom, dude.
Ooh, that's clean.
We'll figure it out. I don't want to bet on it.
Put on board?
No. All right, what about the next one, guys? I know you hate PFF, so I brought you a PFF tweet.
Great.
The most important non-quarterback for every NFC and AFC team is something PFF just put out. They say Jacksonville's most important non-quarterback is Calvin Ridley. I disagree. I'd love to hear your opinions before I tell you mine, though.
That's fascinating. That's a tough one to answer in Jacksonville.
It's a tough question.
I mean, I just got done saying in the last segment, I think Travis Etienne's one of the most underrated players in the National Football League.
Okay.
I think he's super important
To this team this year?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because take him out,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care that you have bodies, you have nothing you're leaning on.
You might have flipped
You know,
me to
they're
Travis
all-
Etienne right now, Brent.
They're all complementary to Etienne. So I think you could go Kirk here and Ingram. Maybe Ingram might be the case, but I'm going Etienne.
Case?
Tyson Campbell.
I'm with you on defense.
Wow.
It's not Tyson for me, though.
Well, what happens if Tyson gets hurt? They got no depth. We've clearly made that clear. So I think it has to be Tyson. But anyway, what do you got?
I think for the team, the most important non-quarterback on the team this year is Trayvon Walker. Because if Calvin Ridley doesn't show improve, you got options. Brent, you kind of convinced me on Travis Etienne. I'll put it to the side for a second. If Evan Ingram doesn't work out, maybe you don't have options at tight end, but you got pass-catching options still. We just talked about the versatility and the depth on the offensive line. I don't know if it's a top 5 unit, but it's one that could sustain a couple of guys being out. Your linebackers, I feel like, are pretty solid this year as long as Lloyd and Muma continue their progress. The secondary is decent, and I understand I'm with you on Tyson Campbell being an important part case, but if Tyson's not a shutdown corner, like they're still going to be okay in that secondary. Darius Williams showed he could play last year. You got good safeties. So you got help there. But Trayvon Walker needs to play like a first-round pick. Not even like a number 1 pick. Like a first-round pick. Josh Allen had a nasty year last year. Maybe he didn't put up the sacks, but he was getting after the quarterback. You need pressure coming from the other side as well.
I thought that's who you were going to say.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You could.
Because if you take Allen out, you have nothing that you know.
Yeah. No, it's
right?
not a bad point.
At least if you take Trayvon Walker out, you know Josh Allen's still good. Like, we don't know how good Trayvon Walker is. Josh Allen's at least proven it.
Yeah. Case.
What's wild about this is the Jags, Kasey, seem to have a lot of options here.
Yeah, a lot of options. And who was the one on the tweet? Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
PFF says it's Calvin Ridley, yeah.
I kind of figured they'd go that way.
It's easy. You know what I mean? It's
you
easy.
guys hate them so much.
I mean, it's an easy, lazy take from the folks over at PFF. It's easy.
They're not the only ones with that take.
They
A
said
lot of people would pick Calvin Ridley.
They said Trevor Lawrence showed the league what he's capable of last season. The Jaguars have an excellent back in Etienne. Christian Kirk and Ingram are good route runners who could win over the middle. Jacksonville just needed a dynamic receiver who can win outside. Well, they had that. Oh, timeout. Case, you got breaking news?
Bro, this thing is cold. Joe Burrow has an Acura NSX. Bro.
That is not a truck. That's a sports car.
I'm not done. It is cold. You hear me? It is nice. He has 3 cars, by the way, according to the internet.
Okay.
One of which, where's my other tab?
Yeah, like I'm sure maybe
Is
he's got one.
is the EV truck. You know that new EV truck?
Mm-hmm. From who? From Rivian?
Nah, Lordstown.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. But it's cold.
That's cool, though.
But the Acura is cold. You hear me? $157,000.
NSX is nasty. Yeah.
Man, it's nasty, boy. Thing is clean. All right, continue on.
We can go to the next week, guys.
57,000. That's it, huh?
That's it.
Just for the Acura. The truck was pushing 100, and then he also has a Porsche that's well over 100 as well.
Is it like a sedan or a SUV? It's probably a sedan, like a Boxster or something.
Yes, sedan.
All right, Schefter's got our next tweet, Brent. The Colts unveiled their new Indiana Knights alternate uniform for 2023. Have you seen it?
I did see that. It was kind of like, it was obviously blue.
It looked like UK blue.
Yeah.
Like University of Kentucky.
So what was the view on this? Did people like it or no?
Well, it's getting roasted online. I think it's horrendous.
Is it getting roasted by Jags fans because they hate everything about everything else in the AFC South?
I think everyone but the Colts fans are roasting it right now. Really? It's ugly. It is atrocious. Really, to match the season the Colts are about to put up. They got the deep Kentucky blue, we'll call it, with the white pinstripes. The helmet is black with the white and blue pinstripes. Just gross. Oof. Might be the ugliest alternate uniform in the league, guys. Why would they do this to themselves? I don't understand. Alternate uniforms are supposed to be something to be celebrated.
I wonder what happens sometimes with this uniform stuff, and I have no idea if this is going to be the case to defend Indy a little bit. sometimes does it look better like on the field altogether, like with the green, under the lights, HD TV, rather than in a photo?
I hope it does for their sake because this is just bad news.
The bottom line is, like, they all do these – they do research on this stuff. So for everybody, like, on Twitter and everywhere else not to like it, is that just Twitter being Twitter?
Well, let's not –
or did they really fail the research test?
They wouldn't be the first team to unveil a bad uniform. I imagine all these teams do research when they do this stuff. There are some really bad misses.
Yeah, like the Jags mustard, two-tone helmets.
Yeah, that was a rough one people didn't like. I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did, but not hate it. Now, the teal colorway. Ooh, buddy. Jags got that one right. Yes.
Yeah, they did.
That's a nice one. And then everyone loves the Bengals whiteout jerseys. But like the creamsicles, it's a nice throwback, but they swung and missed with that one. The Tampa Bay Bucks.
They're coming back.
Yeah, this year for nostalgia.
Yeah. Nice.
Not because they're winning any, like,
I'm going to get one.
Fashion contest.
Kyle Trask version.
Ooh.
Oh, very good.
Well, stay clean. You can get the original.
You're the worst.
Am I?
Yeah.
Glad to win something.
Put a bow on the show. Hey, being first in something's always good.
Come on.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on deck. We've got the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp after that as well. Busy night ahead on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Guten Tag, this is meine Auto. Und this is meine key. And I only trust one place with meine key. Meine Key Car Care. They are so transparent with e-inspection, which shows photos of the problem and the fix. Meine Key is my favorite part of America. And my second favorite part? The cowboys and their horses. Remember, I only trust meine Key with meine Key. Your one-stop shop for total car care.
At participating locations, Meineke locations are independently owned and operated.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Smoothie King is a family thing from my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife, Steph, gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter, Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls, too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new extreme watermelon lemonade. Extreme watermelon smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Koala insulation.
Hey,
this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug, get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
Over there.
are statistically
It's still alive.
unlikely. Good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and geraniol, and scientifically engineer them into effective bug-fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. Stem, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
It's time to put a bow on this show here on a Thursday. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. Again, the Jags report tomorrow in part. Rookies, all 13 of them, the draft picks and then some, actually. The quarterbacks. And it's early on. It's time to get to work for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they ramp into the season. I was thinking of something, guys. The start of the year is still, what is it? What the heck's the date today? Like the 20th?
Yep.
So the start of the year is almost 2 months away still, believe it or not. It's a long stretch of the start from tomorrow to get to game one. Solid 7 weeks, let's call it. And I wonder how important it is for the Jags to start fast. Also, how much it would say about the development of them as a team, organization, everything else. And then also what it could say about Doug Peterson especially, but even Trevor Lawrence. So I feel like there's a lot to learn in the first month of the season. You know what I'm saying? Are we to the point in Jacksonville where the continuity means you really did pick up where you left off? Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't it feel that way? You have a lot of the same players. I mean, a bunch of the same team. They have got to have more of their roster returning than anybody else in the NFL, or
It's
at least
be
be
at the
highly
top.
ranked.
Yeah,
right?
it's got to be close to the top.
And Doug put so much emphasis on year 2 with the coaching staff and the players, which I think he should, and how important that is. But if this is going to be a good year for the Jags, or as good as they hope it to be, shouldn't it start fast?
It should, but I don't think that's the way it works. I think they got to ramp up just because it's a physical sport. You got to get mentally, Rasheen talked to us about this last year a bunch, where it's not just physical shape. You got to get in this mental shape to get hit.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand that. The reason I bring it up is I want them to start fast because there's excitement around them. There's so much momentum. It seems like every week there's another bit of momentum. And knock on wood, hopefully that continues. But so you want that to stay, keep building, keep building, keep building. But in a weird way, you can't sustain it for 17 weeks. You're going to have ebbs and flows through the season, right? Peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. All the teams have it. You're not going 17-0, and you're not going to play good football for 17 weeks. That's just – nobody does it really, and the Jags certainly don't appear to be there as a football team. So I'm kind of I like the ramp-up of last year, but I want them to start fast. I don't want them to play their best football early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want them the hottest in the beginning of the season, but also I agree. I don't think it's going to take them half a season to get rolling.
Maybe the best illustration of this is a modification of what the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. The Eagles jumped out to an 11-0 start. I think they lost to Washington, I want to say. And then, they got a little beat up here and there toward the end, and Hurts in and out, or actually out for a couple games. And then they recaptured it because they were good. They were just good. And so I'm not saying the Jags should start 11-0, but like 7-3, 8-2 in their first 10.
It's pretty
Why
good.
not, right?
Why not?
And then maybe you do stumble a little bit, or maybe you get a little injury bug for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you kind of hit like this second wind, if you will. Just fascinated by it. Again, we don't have a lot of illustration of this, guys. Like, we really don't. We don't have a bunch of, like, tests about Jags in recent years of what they've done when they're good. Last year was so different. You're not going to get – we had 96 and you had last year in terms of the buildup. Then in 2018, you had 3-1 fast start, then see you later. It was all awful after that.
It's just the more I think about it, we mentioned it the other day, the more I start to get worried about the health issue. I mean, last year was such a non-factor. That never happens.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's going to happen more to some degree, but you can still stay healthy. Like, you just got to stay somewhat healthy. And the Jags tried to build depth this year.
That's great advice, Brent.
Well, again, there's levels. There's being devastated by injury like 2018 did happen to the Jags, but people don't want to really kind of remember that. Mm-hmm. Or like even the Titans. The Titans last year were devastated by injury. They had a ton of them.
Yeah.
Like that, it's hard to function. But then there's like, okay, like how about the Chargers, right? The Chargers have been beat up and still made the playoffs and obviously should have beaten the Jags.
Well, I think they were devastated by injury last year technically too. They lost a multitude of really important starters. They had an injured quarterback. Both of their wide receivers were injured. Their left tackle was gone for the season. And they still made the playoffs. I think that's a tribute to coaching genius Brandon Staley. But no, it's a tribute to how talented that roster was.
Yeah.
But if the Jaguars went through this year what the Chargers went through last year, I think it's going to get a little ugly.
Yeah, well, we don't want to talk that into existence.
Okay.
No more of that talk.
I'll just leave.
It's like the third time this week you've mentioned something.
I'll
like
leave.
that.
I'm a nervous person, Brent.
Yeah, please leave. You're done for the day.
Thank you.
Catch him tomorrow morning, 96.9 The Eagle. Catch us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Drive slow, everybody. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton up next on ESPN 690.
Run to the Jacksonville Sharks this week, Saturday, July 22nd, 7 p.m. at the BuyStar Veterans Memorial Arena as they take on West Texas. Call 904-621-0700 or jacksharks.com for tickets. Fins up.
Take back your quality of life today. Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Get some help from QC Kinetics with a free consultation, 904-274-5522. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is helping people every day here in Jacksonville and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments that repair and restore damaged joint tissue. This incredible non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in knees, hips, shoulders, or even the back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, and no downtime. They use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents, concentrating them right in the area where you have the agonizing pain. Summertime needs to be about having fun, taking control of your quality of life, making memories on the golf course, hiking in the mountains, enjoying the outdoors. Take control now and start living pain-free again. Free consultation with QC Kinetics by calling 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. QC Kinetics in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra.
Hey, Jacksonville, we need your help. It may be summer, but school is just around the corner. Hundreds of local homeless, at-risk, and low-income students need school supplies. One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is collecting school supplies through July 30th, so our most vulnerable kids can start the school year right. Be a good person and help us fill 350 backpacks this summer. Bring donations to your nearest One-to-One Financial branch. Learn more and find the closest branch at one-to-one-fcu.org. And don't forget, the school supply tax holiday is the last week of July. Thanks, Jacksonville.
Make the superior choice when you hire a plumber. From unclogging drains and water heater repairs to complete cast iron pipe replacements, Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has you covered. Request a free estimate from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Smoothie King is a family thing for my family. I love the Lean One vanilla and strawberry. My wife Steph gets the Lean One chocolate. My daughter Kaylee, the Caribbean way. And Ty goes all out for the Hulk. You have choices at Smoothie King. Smoothies for everyone, and now smoothie bowls too. And this summer, plunge into extreme watermelon smoothies, now available at Smoothie King for a limited time. Enjoy extreme watermelon, or for something more tart, dive into the new extreme watermelon lemonade. Extreme watermelon smoothies, back for a limited time, only at Smoothie King. Rule the day at a Smoothie King in Jacksonville.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Josh Harris is now the new owner of the Washington Commanders. Harris already owns the NBA 76ers and the NHL Devils. He buys the team from Daniel Snyder, who will pay a $60 million fine to the league for workplace misconduct and possible business improprieties. At SEC Media Days today in Nashville, Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin with some sharp words about the state of college football.
Just like when everybody was like, oh, we got this NIL, it's great. And then, in this portal, it's great. Oh, whoa. And I'm not saying I was the only one saying, I'm like, whoa, this is a disaster coming because you just legalized cheating and you just told donors they can pay the players.
Kiffin says the college landscape is now professional sports without a salary cap or a luxury tax. After the first round of the Open Championship at Royal Liverpool, there's a three-way tie for the lead at 5 under. England's Tommy Fleetwood, Argentina's Emiliano Grillo, and Georgia Tech's Christo Lamprecht.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
frustrates me greatly? Whole lot of stuff, to be honest.
Stuff we can say on air? Stuff we can't say on air?
A lot of stuff I can't say on air. A lot of stuff I can. Most of it has to do with Beach Boulevard and how slow y'all are going. You should have seen what happened today.
Oh. Walk me through it. Talk through it, sir.
The merge. There's a couple of things that human beings can't do for the majority.
Okay.
Merging is one of them. Four-way stop, another good example. Now, it's one thing to merge onto the interstate and, like, have some anxiety about that. I understand, right? People are going, might be rush hour, tough to get in. You're going to find a spot. They're not going to hit you. If they hit you in the back, it's their fault. So, I get that. But if we can't merge on Beach Boulevard, you've got no shot in the rest of your life. I don't know what you do for a living, but you probably don't do it well.
Wait, where were you at? Were you coming off South Side? Were you coming off? Man, talk about it, man. You don't. It's not like you live close there. You know what I mean? You're not giving any vital information.
Like sort of though. It's one of those roads that merges onto Beach Boulevard.
Okay. Right? So like San Pablo,
in that direction.
Hodges.
In that direction.
Yeah. Okay.
You might have hit it actually.
Even A1A, I guess technically.
No, not that one.
No, I'm just saying. Just going.
You
down
were in the
roads,
right
like
direction
Southside
of
Boulevard.
When you were going the Hodges San Pablo direction, it's in that area.
Yeah.
You don't full on stop in the merge.
No.
You merge. Even if it's slowly. No, Brian. No. But you're part of the problem.
No, because my issue is people be flying from the road to merge onto the road, and I'm just like, no, bro, you yield. That's what the rules say. So you slow your tail down because I'm actually on Beach Boulevard. I don't placate to you. You placate to me, or we playing bumper cars. So you might be the problem, sir. You're one of those guys that go 75 miles per hour off of the ramp onto Beach Boulevard. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll adjust since you don't care about anybody's life right now. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes and no. First of all, why are you driving in the right lane, you slow old person?
Sometimes I got to make a turn right after the merge.
Ain't that annoying?
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I agree with that because then you got to ride the right lane. You got to let somebody in. It's a mess. Anyway.
I don't got to let anybody in.
So that wasn't even the plan. Like, that does frustrate me, though.
It does.
The other thing that frustrates... Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, you can't even talk.
Frustrates me is these idiot Tampa Bay Rays. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So, most of you, and this has nothing to do with baseball, so if you're like, oh, baseball talk, I'm leaving, it's not that. It has nothing to do with what's going on the field. Most of you have probably been to a sporting event where they give you something for coming to the game, right? A little stadium giveaway, maybe a bobblehead, towel, something that when you walk in the gate, they hand it to you, right? That's a tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Twice in the last 20 minutes, I've used Beauty and the Beast as a reference. But they give it away before the game. These morons at the Tampa Bay Rays who have consistently had just awful fan engagement relationship. They always find a way to screw up how the fans can engage with the team and the players and just have a good time. That's the one biggest problem I've always had with the Rays. So these idiots think they have a revolutionary idea, and they're going to give away their giveaway on Saturday after the game. After the game. After the game. So
I'm listening. After the game.
The Wander Franco bat will be given out upon exit from the game. All right? Starting in the 6th inning, fans can pick up a bat at any exit gate. So now you're encouraging people to leave early because you're not going to have enough bats. The Rays are good at that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So now you're going to have people lined up to leave. This is one of the best 2-3 teams in baseball playing against the other best 2-3 team in baseball in the Orioles. And you are encouraging people to leave early.
Well, I've never been in the Trop. I've passed by it.
It's a great place.
I've been in the neighborhood around it. I've been like, oh, really? This is where the Tropicana Field's at. Okay, I guess, but I've never been inside. Is it one of those deals, once you're lined up, there's a certain, no point of return area where you line up and get your bat, you can't turn around?
No, that's what they're saying. You cannot. Once you get it, you're gone.
Oh, that's the part
of it.
We'll
see you later. Souvenir City, you're gone.
Interesting.
So they have encouraged people, instead of getting there, this is crazy, instead of showing up early, spend more money at the concessions, see batting practice, make it more of an experience.
Yeah.
They're encouraging people to show up late at this point and leave early.
Traffic issue.
These are the biggest morons in Major League Baseball. You think it's the Athletics? It's actually the Tampa Bay Rays. And they are my favorite team. Do or die with the boys.
Interesting.
But it's always something stupid with the Rays. And once again, the post-game giveaway takes the cake.
Post-game giveaway starting in the 6th inning.
Starting in the 6th inning.
See, I thought you were going to say, hey, we don't pull them out until like the top of the 9th. You know what I mean? Which,
no.
In that case, I'd be like, all right, you're going to force people to say whether it's a great game, which it sounds like it could very well be against, the Orioles, of course, and you got a heck of a squad. But, okay, 9th inning, it may be a blowout, but I got to stick around if I really want this bad. And in the case that you said, maybe, spend more money somehow, some way. But for the 6th inning to be the initial jump-off point, yeah, I don't get it, Kasey Kurtz. Them your boys.
No sense.
They don't want to be great.
It makes absolutely no sense. Every time, they always come up with the next stupid idea. The most stupid thing you've thought of today, if you're listening, is what the Rays thought of last week. Trust me. They thought of it last week.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to put it into action. And the best part is they ain't going to tell nobody. They sent this out as an email if you bought a ticket. You know how many people are going to miss that?
Yeah, because I don't open up.
They're going to be like, where's the bat? You didn't get the bat. Why don't we get the bat? You don't get it till we leave. What do you mean you don't get it till we leave?
There's going to be some cussing going on.
They're going to be upset kids from the get.
Oh, there's going to be some crying going on. Oh, man.
Jeez,
yeah, your boys don't want to be great. What do they have in store for the playoffs?
Who knows? Something stupid.
Oh, boy. If you bought a ticket, you can't actually come in for this game right here.
We're only letting you in if you don't have a ticket.
Boy.
It is every time with these morons. I love the team.
Uh-huh.
Whoever makes decisions on anything that has to do with other than baseball is clearly a moron. That's it. Oh. Since we're doing this.
Yeah. What else?
This is Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, by the way. I just want to get that across. This is Kasey Kurtz. That's Brian Middleton. Because I don't want anyone else to be looped in with what I'm about to say next. Although I just looped Brian in. I pitched Brent about a year ago on a segment called Idiot of the Day. All right? I had a bad experience driving. I thought this would be a good segment, and it got shot down relatively quick. So I was driving home the other night on Beach Boulevard, and I saw something that made me want to repitch Idiot of the Day. All right? We're going to do it here today.
I was about to say, why don't we just do it here? And then
I just want to confirm that nobody else is getting tied up in this. We'll get to the football news of the day in a second. It's Jordan Addison. He was going too fast.
Have you heard some of the stuff that we've said over the past 2 years?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
It's
this will
clear,
be the least of the issues.
It's very clear we're not getting checked from a high level. But that's fine.
Please go. Yeah.
The show's good.
Idiot of the Day.
I think the show's entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm driving on Beach Boulevard, going in the direction of Hodges and San Pablo once again. And there's a car that is clearly broken down. It is unfortunately in the middle lane. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kasey. Why is this person your Idiot of the Day? He's actually not. He's just an unfortunate turn of events. Your car breaks down in the middle lane. You've done everything you can at this point. You threw the flashers on. It's difficult to try to move it, especially on beach, because you always know people are coming. But you've made it pretty clear. The flashers are on. We ain't moving. So the Idiot of the Day comes in slightly behind me. Brian, I cannot make this up. If you're listening and you care, you're going to think I'm making this up. I'm not. This is real life. There is another car in the middle lane that drives right up to our flasher buddy. The light is as green as it will ever get. Brian, they stay behind the flasher guy for multiple minutes. I'm in the turn lane trying to go on Kernan. So I'm at a red light.
Okay.
The light to go straight down beach is green as green. And I'm watching this all in my mirror. And this dude is sitting behind the broken down car to the point the broken down car driver had to get out and wave him around, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I could not believe what I was seeing. Now, this is where the idiot of the day can turn around on me. I missed the entire light rotation of my light because I was watching this happen.
Hey, entertaining.
And for some reason, I didn't get honked at. Other people went. I didn't go because I'm watching Idiot of the Day because I'm the idiot of the day.
There was someone behind you?
I don't know. Maybe I had to wave him around. I don't know what happened. Brian, minutes. I'm telling you, minutes. They're just sitting there waiting to go.
Yeah.
Dude had his flashers on the whole time. Gets out and goes, come on. Yep.
Flashers were working.
Could
Because
not.
you saw the flashers from the front.
Both flashers is working.
Yeah.
Even the one on the top
back.
because it was an older car.
Okay.
I could not believe what I was watching.
And they let that person, watch this, get behind a 2,500, 3,000 pound vehicle. You hear me? They driving on the roads where you're driving, Jacksonville.
This person is driving around with you, the people. You might be the person listening right now.
We talking about you.
1, thank you for listening. 2, what the hell were you doing? What were you doing?
But did he make his light when he got waved around?
No.
No. So he didn't make
red.
it. You didn't make it, but you were over here stewing and laughing at the same time like, this big dummy.
Right. Now, in the grand scheme of things, we did end up going at the same time because we both got the light. But I just couldn't believe what I was watching, Brian. I could not believe what I was watching.
I'm telling you, man, Beach Boulevard is full of something, man.
And the whole way home, the only thing I could think of was, I got to repitch Idiot of the Day. I got to.
Look, this is what you do, okay? You do it here first. This is like a minor league. This is an ancillary piece of Brent and Friends.
That's what everybody else thinks, too.
Okay? And you just, you pitch it here, you hone it here, and then once you really get it good, you make sure that you do like a little bit of a reel. When you pitching, you're like, Brent, I'm going to play this for you right now because I know you're a busy man, and if I send this to you, you'll listen, but it won't be the same as me being in front of you and looking at this right now. And we chop up about 5 or 6, different idiots of the days laughing right here. And then you be like, you know what? This is good enough to come up. We'll call you up from Brent and Friends. We'll call you from the bullpen now. What do they do? Huh? All the signals? Yeah.
Whichever arm you throw with.
Come on up. From the bullpen, we're ready for this segment to go live with the big boys from 3 to 6 p.m.
Yeah. Boy, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was seeing.
That's not the dumbest thing that you probably saw on Beach Boulevard all
ever.
week, though. But just for
that
the
was
day.
wild, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. All right.
15 minutes in. Tampa Bay Rays on the target list.
There are a lot of stupid
Beach
people out
Boulevard.
There's a lot of stupid people out there.
I wonder if he's related to anybody in the Tampa Bay front office.
It was him, actually. Probably the director of promotions for the Rays. Post-game giveaway, you idiots.
In the 6th inning.
6th inning.
It's like mid-game giveaway.
It's actually going to be pretty full, Rays-Orioles.
Yeah.
You're going to see half of the crowd just call it. Like, we want the bat. All right. We could actually put Jordan Addison on Idiot of the Day. He could fit this. After going, what was it, 140? Is that the number?
That's what I'm reading.
In a 55?
140. 140.
So, all right.
Work it out, man. We here.
You can't go 140 at any point. Unless you're in NASCAR, then you might want to go faster.
He said, are you sure about that? Because my speedometer said 140.
Yeah. Like, there's clearly a red flag that needs to be worked out here. But I guess I'll just start with this. I don't think he's getting suspended for this. Aaron thought he probably should. Me and Brent were on the page of he's probably not getting suspended for this. Like, it could have been a unbelievably horrible tragedy going that speed. Not just for him, but other people involved. And frankly, I fall on the side of if you're going 140 miles per hour, I'm more worried about what happens to others because you put yourself in the position. If you were going to be Idiot of the Day, then I can't really feel sorry for you. Luckily, that did not happen. We're not talking about that today. But I don't think he gets suspended for this. Do you? I mean, he's going 100 over the speed limit.
I think that he should. I think it should be very light, but I think it should be something that punishes him in the pocket and playing time initially. Let's go ahead and nip it in the bud. Let's go ahead and just knock it out right now. Now, maybe he will learn or maybe he won't learn. But if I'm sitting there and I'm the NFL, and to a certain degree, lesser degree, I wouldn't expect the Minnesota, ownership front office to take the initiative on this. Like, why am I going to figuratively shoot myself in the foot with a guy, granted, a rookie, but we think is going to be a pretty big piece to this Minnesota offense going into this season.
No doubt.
But I think that somebody should just say, I'm going to be the adult. Do you remember how you went on that tangent when Justin Herbert was injured?
Yes.
And you were like, somebody needs to be the adult.
Yeah, that was a good clip.
And I'm going to say it was. And I'm going to say this right here. I'm going to say what you said then for this right here. Somebody up there, Roger Goodell, you need some good press. Someone needs to be the adult. Now, I don't know what a suspension would look like if Roger Goodell tried to do this, with the Players Association. I don't know all the minutia of the details. I'm just saying 1 game, 2 games to start off his career.
Ain't no way.
But what it will at least do, if they were able to do that, they'd be able to set a precedent, which is a reason why I think that this couldn't happen right now without a huge fight, without one of those things where the player goes to the union, then they're like, well, let's have one of those, meetings, and we put that off so you can play until we have the actual meeting and the decision goes down, like one of those deals. But I'm looking at it from more of a macro point of view. Young guy, heck of a career in college, first-round draft pick. We think a good player. Minnesota thinks is a great player. Going to be opposite side of Chef Jeff, and we'll probably have a decent enough to good season for Minnesota. I mean, that's just what the projections probably are for a lot of people looking at this kid. He probably is a good guy for whatever that means. He's probably not like a nasty dude and stealing lollipops from babies, things of that nature.
Right.
Probably 22 or 23, something like that.
21.
21. Just a young guy. But sometimes you need to have that kick in the pants. You need to have that jolt at the very beginning in order to be on a semi-right path to understand the immensity of your decisions. Besides the fact that we're talking about the NFL, Kasey, and I'm about to hand it back to you, but besides the fact that we're talking about just the NFL career, you think about what Henry Ruggs is going through. Sure. And I'm saying that in the sense of I understand that there's a family and people that he affected. But I'm talking about Henry Ruggs right now, which a lot of people are probably equating this to.
Sure.
Because he messed up family. He messed up. He killed another person. He killed a dog. He, in a certain way, probably killed, the family and friends. Inside, you want to start talking about that because they're missing that person, that hole in their heart. But finally, when you get past all that, think about him. Think about what he's lost.
Yeah.
And so the immensity of your actions, I think that's the right word. It's so important. And Kasey, at 21, I mean, you can speak to it since you're closer to that age than I am, but at 21, I can think of some of the dumb things I did. It was never driving 140 miles per hour because I didn't have a Lamborghini. And I think that's the only reason why.
I would agree with that, by the way.
But I did some dumb things, and I look back and I'm like, should I even really be here talking to Kasey Kurtz? Well, by the grace of God, I am, but I did some dumb things there. I'm not excusing it, but that's why I think a 1-game suspension, a 2-game suspension, just get it in your head, man. Don't take any chance that's going to affect the hard work that you put in over the past 10 to 13 years whenever you first touched the football field, all the times going out on the track, on the field, in the gym, watching tape. Don't do it now. Not now.
I think you're exactly right with what you said there at the end because there, just in that part of it is at 21, if you have a car that can go 140, at some point, no matter where you are, you're like, I'm going to see if I can go 140. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like a real life thing when you're 20, 21, 22 years old. Not the right decision, but it's a real thing. I bet a lot of people would answer that way. Right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
If I had a car that could go that fast, I'm definitely going to try it.
I mean, me too.
And you can't. But again, at 21, you don't know better. Unfortunately for Jordan Addison, and maybe fortunately for Jordan Addison at this point, he's in the spotlight. He's a professional athlete. He will now learn that he can't do that, right?
Yeah.
And at 21, I am not going to sit here and be like, he did this unbelievably terrible, unthinkable thing, because he didn't. The result of his actions could have been that. They weren't, thank goodness. Yep. I'm not excusing what he did, but I'm saying at 21, this is a mistake people make. We've seen it a lot recently. Henry Ruggs, you bring it up. Jalen Carter's another one.
Yeah.
From young people making mistakes. And I'm not going to sit up here, maybe because I'm not old radio guy, and I'm not judging, because I can see how this happens. But to your point, I don't think there's a chance they suspend him. I'm not saying that they should or shouldn't. I don't think they will. He'll get fined. He should. He's got enough money to pay for it. But I look at this similar, and follow me, to John Morant. John Morant is in some trouble, not for going too fast, but for flashing guns on IG. And technically, Jordan Addison did break a law.
Yeah.
But both of them, to me, are young players that need some guidance here, with nothing to do with their athletic abilities. Both are extremely talented. Both are first-round picks for a reason. Ja's already a star. Jordan Addison may be on the way to being one. But you do need people in your circle when you become famous at that age, have money at that age, to help you stay and get on the right path. And Ja's going through that right now. And after a couple of times, he's been suspended even longer than the first time now, and that's a whole thing. So Jordan Addison hopefully can find people, or has people, or will now gain these people, whether it's Justin Jefferson saying, hey, bro, you can't do this, or people inside the organization to help avoid something like this that could happen, that could be bad, that could have ended in a much different way other than just a ticket or whatever it was that Jordan Addison got. So it's, thank goodness that nothing worse happened. Thank goodness that nobody is hurt or there was no crash or anything like that. That's the good part of this. But this is something that I think will happen because, as you said it, and I think you're spot on, I will say, I can't, judge for females, but I'll say dudes at like 21, if you got a car that's going 150, I'm trying it. I don't know when and where. It was 3 a.m. You pick your spots. It's not right. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm not telling you should do it. I'm just telling you where the mind is, because I've been there. You just said you were there. Jordan Addison was clearly there. But you just can't do it. And I recommend nobody do it. But again, that's 4 years removed from looking at that saying, yeah, this is why this was a stupid idea. Because it all comes back to idiot drivers, Brian. I know it's 3 a.m, but if you go in and somebody decides they're just going to cut you off without looking, not to sound dark, but nobody's making it out of that. That's why it's dangerous.
I mean, unless you're, and I'm not even trying to be funny, unless you might be inebriated, because you see some people sometimes driving crazy and they got that drunk. But there's no, saying that he was, under the influence of anything.
Sure.
But Kasey, yeah, I agree with you. And, the only pushback I don't have is this. He does know better. But the intrigue of being able to test it out.
You're right. You're right about
that. I can remember a time where I would be like, I would try it out. And so, like you, I'm not making excuses. I actually think a 2-game suspension on top of the fine would do wonders for him, even though he's probably learned his lesson to a certain degree right now. I'm sure that Kirk and the leadership there have already been in his ear, his agent, his family. I'm sure that he has more than enough people telling him, hey, man, you got to do better. And he's probably like, I know I got to do better. I was just doing something stupid. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, man, sometimes you've got to get a punishment, not for what the potential outcome could have been, like the worst possible outcome, but somewhere in the middle, so that you can feel that heat just a bit, so that for the next 13 years when he's, wowing people, maybe all of those in Minnesota, or maybe, he comes down to Jacksonville after a while when he sees how many chips we putting together, and he's like, I need to get out this rookie contract because we're not doing up here in Minnesota. He's on the I hate to say straight and narrow, like he's off the beaten path, but he's not making decisions like this. I guess that's what I'm saying. So anyway,
yeah.
Do you think that questions the decision making
100%.
at all for the Jags, for the Vikings with him?
Yeah, it has to because it's a bad decision, but it's not. And this is where I may lose people. It's not a decision that says we need to cut you. We need to do anything like that.
Yeah, no.
But here's what's crazy about it. If people were hurt by this, we would say you got to get rid of him.
Well, yeah.
So like,
he's fortunate.
He's fortunate. I guess that's a good way to put it. Because I could see, and if your opinion on this is, yeah, they should move on from him because this could have ended in multiple casualties. I'm not going to be mad at you for having that as an opinion. But I think if you're Minnesota, you have to at least question that, and that's why you have to get out in front of it because you did pick him in the first round, and he is talented. So you got to make sure this doesn't happen again because you need this guy. So, yeah, I think it does question the decision-making. It has to. There's no way around it. It would have to do that. The other big news of the NFL today, the NFL owners have unanimously approved the $6.05 billion sale of the Washington Commanders. So Josh Harris is your new owner of the Washington Commanders. Dan Snyder, I guess, has $6 billion now.
Yeah.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Come on now.
I guess everybody wins.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Dan Snyder's rich. The owners in the league got Dan Snyder out of the league. Feels kind of like a win-win. It feels kind of gross, though, with all the Dan Snyder stuff. But, like, it's over. They did it. Josh Harris, who owns the Wizards and I believe the New Jersey Devils as well, now adds the Washington Commanders to his portfolio of sports ownership.
How did I get into that wheel?
That's
Holy smokes.
Like, what? Can I do anything for him?
Holy smokes.
Just
man.
Sweep floors or something? Anyway, that's the NFL news of the day. One not so great. One, I guess, kind of good. Nothing that really impacts Jacksonville, but what will impact Jacksonville is tomorrow when rookies and quarterbacks report for training camp. How about that? We've made it, Jacksonville. Let's take a break. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. ESPN 690 on a Thursday. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball coming up just a little bit after we are concluded for the day. They are in Nashville taking on the Sounds, so you can hear that tonight. Back in town next week. Jags are back in town next week. Things are good in Jacksonville, other than on Beach Boulevard when y'all be stopping to merge. Just go. But not 140 miles per hour. It all comes full circle, Brian. We're back after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Warm tonight under mostly clear skies, only dropping into the mid to upper 70s. A hot Friday under mostly to partly sunny skies. The afternoon high near 100. Feel like temperatures around 110. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Save up to 40% now during the Christmas and July sale at Beard's Diamonds.
It's the Big One Sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 a month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 a month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18,000. You even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Shop the Big One Sales event, 10939 Atlanta Boulevard and ArlingtonToyota.com. Visit ArlingtonToyota.com/offers for full details.
A horrific car accident left Paula with major injuries and surgery after surgery.
I got to the point where I really couldn't walk. I had to resign from work. I was really just laying in bed. It was terrible. I would go back under the knife.
She missed working and traveling, but all that was about to change. QC Kinetics used natural biologics to treat Paula. No foreign substances. They provided regenerative treatments that helped subside the pain and restore her quality of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was feeling more movement and doing stuff. And then I start crying. I'm like, I can't believe it.
For Paula, this moment was extremely emotional.
I couldn't do nothing. And now I'm working, and I was on my feet for 7.5 hours, and I feel good. I got my life back because of QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics now for your consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hi, this is Stan Nagel for Energy Seal Foam Insulation. Do you have a metal building that you're burning up in? Call us today and let us fix it. Call Energy Seal to have spray foam insulation applied to your metal building. 888-306-3626. EnergySealToday.com. 888-306-3626.
I'm Action News Jack's anchor Tanika Hughes. Knowing what's happening in your neighborhood keeps you informed and up to date.
Live in downtown.
Reporting in Jacksonville.
Live from the south side.
We make it easy for you to stay connected to local news, breaking news, and weather right from your Roku device.
I'm John Bachman. We have breaking news to tell you about on I-95.
I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Stay indoors. This is a very dangerous storm.
Wherever it happens, whenever it happens. Download Action News Jacks now. Streaming now on Roku.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-206-7930. 904-206-7930. That's 904-206-7930.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines, such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SUMMI to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SUMMI for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SUMMI for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690 on a Thursday. You picked a good day to do this segment. Did you do it on purpose because you knew that you'd be coming in with a tie on Thursdays?
It just kind of falls that in that order with what I got to do before I come into work. And then I'm just like, hey, it does work now.
It does work. You look like a real doctor.
Work. You know what I'm saying? Say it one more time, Kasey Kurtz.
You look like a real doctor.
Hey, man. Huh?
With your tie and your coat.
Real doctor pay.
Now, I'm going to be real with you, dog. You look Even more legit if you had one of these right here.
Yeah,
stethoscope.
I left mine back at the house. So, fun fact, I think I told you this. I ordered it like $4.
Yes.
Ordered 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
People tell me your package is delivered, but one of the stethoscopes is going to be a bit delayed. And I'm like, it's all one package. What do you mean it's a bit delayed? Are you out of them? Like, what's going on? Like,
Good question.
No, just sent. It was sent the next day. Anyway, my point is, and now I forgot it. It's my fault this time. Yeah, it's back
Can I
at the
ask you
crib.
a weird question?
I may or may not give you an answer, but yeah, go ahead.
It is somewhat personal. So we talked about on the show before. You had a heart transplant.
Yeah, I did.
So I just listened to my heart with the stethoscope.
You probably should go get that checked out.
Would-
go ahead.
No,
What?
like what? This is gonna sound really stupid.
Yeah.
Would it sound differently because you had a heart transplant? Like, is there something that would make it not?
Yeah, if you are in AFib or you got some type of tachycardia.
No, I'm saying your heart.
Right, no.
Because of the transplant.
No, that's the whole point of the transplant, to get it sounding that way again, and they've tried everything else, and now they've got to do something drastic. No, so it would sound the same now.
Huh, okay. All right, just checking.
Red flags if it doesn't sound the same now. That's why I
Okay.
get checked out.
Very fair. All right.
Anyway, Kurt, you ready?
Yes.
I got an intro. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Cool, calm, collected. It's the Overtime Doctors.
You like that? You like that? I got to work with the levels. Did it really quick. Yeah, man, that was one of the overtime contributors here. Chase Bunker.
Did you let Chase know that the last guy that made an open no longer works here? So you might end up.
I already got a pay raise.
In the same fate as.
Here you go. He got a pay raise.
Ponson? Oh, he did?
Anyway, I don't know.
I miss Ponson.
Just trying to be okay. Anyway, Kurt, you know how this works right here, but let me just give a quick tutorial for individuals who might be listening for the first time. Me and Kasey Kurtz, a lot of wisdom here, a lot of studying in sports psychology and health just in general. And so we try to help out some of these patients at the Overtime Hospital. Okay, we're going room to room. We'll hear their diagnosis. We'll hear a little bit about their background. Then me and Kasey will give a prescription on trying to make sure that they can get better, if they can get better at all. Sometimes Kasey has to call it. Give me time of the end. Anyway, first up, Kasey Kurtz. Let's see if we can get this right. First room. Patient. Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin.
Lane.
Diagnosis: grade A low-key hating. Symptoms include chiming in on things from a hypocritical point of view and bouts of whining to the point where someone needs to call the wambulance. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. That's the first time I heard it. I'm sure somebody else has said it.
Oh, yeah.
Wambulance. You
A lot
know,
of
because you're
people say
crying.
that. Yeah.
No, I never heard it. Anyway, a little background on this patient right here. He was traveling to SEC Media Days, which he's at. He openly stated that the current state of college football is a disaster.
Yes.
And that it's now pay for play. Though he did try to clean it up by saying he's happy for the players getting money. But overall, it's a poor system that isn't getting any better. And now it's basically free agency. So listen, this is one more interesting fact before I get your ideas on this patient. Between transfers and new high school recruits, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin will have 40 new scholarship players on the roster this summer. So they're taking advantage of these rules for sure. Dr. Kurtz, do you agree with the diagnosis of Lane Kiffin being a low-key hater with this system? And if so, what can he do about it?
Yeah, I mean, he's low-key hating. He's not low-key wrong.
Oh, here we go. All right.
In all of what he said. He's wrong in some of it. But the part that he's not wrong about is like, this is a mess that really isn't getting better because there's really no way to regulate it. We got no idea who's doing what, who's making what, what's reported, what's not. Like, there's got to be a better way to do this, but the way that college sports and college football works is like, that's not going to happen. So it's just whatever. It went from, I agree with him on this point, which he said later in that press conference, is the point of it was to sell jerseys and get money, do a little spot for Burger King or for IHOP because you be pancaking people, whatever, right? That was the point of it. And now it's boosters paying you to come play for the school. I agree with the players getting paid whatever. If it's legal and you're getting paid to do it, you take the money and go. I don't care about that. I'm with you there. But Lane's not wrong in that it is kind of a mess and not being used for what they at least told us it was going to be used for. That part he's right about. But then if you're going to criticize it, you out here taking advantage of it, which was your last point, because they do be doing it. NIL, the whole thing. Transfer portal, okay. So I think this is a weird one where he's basically like, yeah, this is bad, but I'm going to do it. We're all just going to keep doing it. So it's never going to get fixed. Like, this was a very weird, like, look at me. I don't really have a lot to say, and nothing I'm going to say is going to make sense. It's kind of like when I talk.
Well, I'm going to prescribe to Lane Kiffin to just be better, okay? How about you just be better? And you be better to the point where it doesn't matter what the NIL deals are. Listen, you at Ole Miss, you're in the SEC, got a bunch of boosters that are paying people. Tell them to be better, huh? I bet that we can find some people, some teams that haven't spent as much as you spent and better than you. And so what if it's pay for play? We took the amateurism out of college sports a long time ago. And for decades, it's been this issue where the players are getting the short end of the stick. And I get it, scholarships, free education, I understand that. And it's still the short end of the stick once you start seeing some of the numbers that they let you see, meaning the NCAA or some of these colleges. No telling what's been fudged. Not fraud, but what's been fudged. So, no, you don't. You can say what you want. It's a free country. But to have this take and to be taking advantage of it, knock it off. So for my advice for your low-key hating, sir, you don't need any antibiotics. You just need to go be better.
Put some ice on it.
Study some more. Pay some more money. Get a higher salary cap. There is no salary cap. Get some more boosters. Anyway, next patient, Kasey. Dr. Kurtz, I'm sorry. All right, let's see. Burger King management and the corporation as a whole. Diagnosis level 1 nasty-itis. Symptoms include doing things that can cause yourself or others illness and just being a nasty buzzard in general. That's something my grandma used to say, Rachel Anderson. Holla at you. Anyway, Dr. Kurtz, our patient is an assistant manager from a South Carolina Burger King location.
Did you just say your grandma's name?
Yeah. She used to say nasty buzzard all the time, like when she was talking about people doing stuff like not washing their hands.
But you called her you said Rachel Anderson is your grandma?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. It just threw me off is all.
Our patient,
yep.
The assistant manager, her name is Jamie Major. She's being accused of allegedly serving customers French fries that had already been tossed in the trash can.
Ooh.
Now, Burger King has released a statement saying that the allegations don't align with the brand's commitment to their food. I hope so. And also, an investigation is ongoing by the Union Police Department. But Dr. Kurtz...
Burger King, what are you doing?
I don't know. Here we go. Oh, go ahead. I don't even need to finish this.
Burger King said, we're not saying she didn't do it. We're just saying we don't want her to do it. That's basically what they said.
Yeah, it doesn't align.
If you issues a statement, at least say she didn't do it.
Yeah.
She did it. I'm going to tell you right now, she did it.
Absolutely.
If Burger King's like, yeah, we don't promote the garbage fries in the bag, but not saying she didn't put the garbage fries in the bag, she did it. There ain't no more allegedly. Like, I know you got to say that to not get sued. She did it. I guarantee you she did it. We'll do a follow-up on this story in like 2 weeks. She's probably in community service or whatever. I don't think she's going to jail. But she did it. I guarantee you she did it. Majors.
She got like a $25,000 or $250,000 bond. I can't remember what it was.
She did go to jail.
There's 2 and a 5, and there's a lot of zeros, but I can't remember if it was $250,000 or $25,000 bond.
See, what's the point of putting the trash fries in the bag? Like, what did you expect to gain out of it other than like, I served these people trash fries? And now you in jail, you dummy.
Wow, that's how we're talking to the patient. What?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Imagine, though, Kasey, number one, Burger King is like 6th in fries when you start thinking about it. McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, Wendy's, when you catch them on the right day. That's 4 right there. Checkers, yeah, that's right there. Rallies, well, I guess that's the same thing.
Same thing.
I mean, then you start going to some of these other restaurants that are bussing. I mean, It's wild, Burger King, that you would even do that. Allegedly, I'm sorry, you got to throw that out there for legal purposes.
She did it.
But yeah, she needs to get a little bit of community service, maybe time served in jail to learn her lesson, get her on the straight and narrow. That's my prescription for her.
I would prescribe that she needs to wash her hands every 5 minutes. You disgusting, nasty, trash fries. Unbelievable.
You know what? This is going to be the last one because we're running up on 50, Kasey.
Yep.
And it's something that we've talked about multiple times, but we didn't get to last week. He's the one patient that we didn't get to. I said, no, I'm sure he'll be here next week. He's not going to improve.
He's still here, huh?
Yeah. Giants running back Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon's still
new stuff here, and maybe you've read into it already. Diagnosis, having no F's to give. Symptoms include learning how to be your best toxic king self. Dr. Kurtz, a patient is fed up and talking again, this time on a podcast, and he was talking about his situation with the Giants, of course, and says that he has considered holding out, saying, quote, my leverage is I could say F you to the Giants. I could say F you to my teammates and be like, you want me to show you my worth? You want me to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. And that's a play I could use. Now, he also said that he doesn't want to use that tactic, but listen, got to do what you got to do. Really quick, Dr. Kurtz, what's your prescription for Saquon Barkley?
Do it. I don't need to prescribe you nothing. I just need to talk you into it.
Yeah, okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to get better. They've said publicly, all of us, the entire United States and beyond, if you care about the NFL, knows that the Giants don't give a damn about you. Not even a little bit.
It's wild.
Not even a little bit. They don't even care. They do care about Daniel Jones, though. Like a lot more.
Apparently.
Like 80 million more.
He's the key to
or
the Super Bowl.
120 million more, whatever it was. They care a lot more about him than you. So do it. Stop talking. Don't show up. Week 1 rolls around. Don't show up. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, 7, 14, 16, playoffs. They ain't going to playoffs without you. Don't show up. Pull a Le'Veon Bell. I'm not coming. And then they'll learn. So I ain't got to prescribe you nothing, Saquon. You got it. 1 dose of real. And be real with them and don't show up. Does that work for you?
Yeah, man. Be toxic. Cut up, King.
Be toxic. Stay toxic, King. A lot of good patience today.
Yeah, man. We left some on the...
That Burger King stuff is nasty, boy.
Yeah,
seriously,
in the trash can.
But honestly, if they issue a statement and didn't do anything, they're like, we do not tell people to throw fries in the trash and then serve them. That's what they said.
Well, there was more to the statement. I got to make it quick. We got a lot of rounds to do. I gave you the gist of it.
Yep. We don't condone this. Not she didn't do it. You going to jail.
You're going to jail.
This is Monopoly.
You're going to jail.
You going to jail.
You're going to jail. You heard of Desi Banks? You're going to jail. You're going to jail. No, you ain't heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Don't worry. We'll pull it, and I'll post it, and you can watch it. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
I was just going to say, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go right to jail.
You're going to jail.
Monopoly? No?
You're going to jail.
All right, the show is over. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball coming up in just a little bit. For Brian Middleton, I'm Kasey Kurtz. We're back on Friday. Have a good night, everybody. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Hey, Jacksonville, we need your help. It may be summer, but school is just